Damn it. Where? Oh, here. Oh, God. Like, seriously. I brought ice cream. Do people like strawberry?
Oh.
And Jordan, he can't eat it. He has a cold sensitivity, so he got it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But if y'all don't eat them, then they'll melt, and then I'll cry. Pressure.
What if I just plain don't really like ice cream?
No, it's okay. It's really fine.
One of my first jobs ever was working in an ice cream store, and they had really good ice cream with gelato, and we were allowed to eat as much as we want.
Oh yeah.
To this day, I will not touch a waffle cone, and I don't like ice cream.
So there is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Oh yeah.
I've never made anybody that didn't like it.
I just OD'd on it, and I haven't gotten that OD'ing over yet.
Yeah.
I might try to eat one. I don't know. As long as it doesn't touch
You
that
better
tooth.
do it early, or it's gonna be a
Wait.
shell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's popcorn over there.
And there's chocolate sugar cookies that Margaret made.
Ooh.
And there's also Cokes and seltzers and stuff in there.
Cool. Yeah, I might get a seltzer in my order up for later then.
There are 3 different varieties of seltzers.
Oh, cool. Have you noticed?
What would you do for a comeback?
Oh.
I'd murder a whole lot of elves.
Seltzers at Kroger's recently. My comments drank them all the time. And when I first started buying them, I was buying them 3 months ago. They were $2.50 for 12.
Yeah, y'all missed quite an adventure last week. Or last session.
And,
I didn't,
I'm
but
saying,
Jordan,
he would drink like
watched
that.
it.
I watched a little bit of the live stream and then watched some more of it on the recording.
I got something with a stick.
Yeah, I got into quite a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, y'all watched that on YouTube?
Don't worry, there won't be any
I
repercussions.
didn't.
Oh,
So did you.
sure, I believe that.
He said, laughing maniacally in his head.
And Roland paid platinum for in case you decided to take on one of the elephant guards or something like that, so that y'all would not get hurt while we were separated from y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't know if you had an idea of where we were or.
What happened?
I mean, I don't. Basically, last time, upon getting to the city, being shown around a little bit, your guide disappeared. Your nice Kenku guide. As well as you two got separated from the rest of the group, who went on their own little adventures, found out some really good information, a little bit about the city. But in the meantime, getting separated in the crowds, what did y'all get up to? What do you think?
So, one of the last things that we did was I could see, we were passing by all those temples, and I could see a temple to Loth. So I think I was going to go there, talk to whoever's there, and my goal being, like, if there's anything I could do to appease Loth, or, like, pay some sort of debt so we could call it evensies.
Or prolong the inevitable.
Because my near-death experience with the giant spider lady trying to take my soul away before I was revivified was scary. And then I still have like some other stuff hanging over my head that I think Loth might eventually track me down for.
Once again, I'm pretty sure there'll be no repercussion.
Cool.
But yeah, you did see, in fact, let's say that's how you got separated. Is you were like, what? And as the rest of the crowd moved on, you and Crom, and the metal child, who has been tagging along with y'all, kind of went on a side street. After a second, you both look around and you realize, oh, everybody else seems to have disappeared. But you're gonna try to go up to it's not a full temple, it's more of a large shrine. There's a couple temples in the area, and it seems like the betrayer god and just the in general the less savory gods are kind of in their own section of the temple district here. Like And then there's the quote-unquote good gods, and they have their own section.
They're only good because they've won.
There you go. Which you don't hear Gundar say this because...
Do you still have something of loss? Or do you drop that, right? Didn't you have a ruby?
The ruby? I don't think I have the ruby anymore.
It got lost during the fight with the giant spider built of corpses, yes. Well, I guess they technically weren't corpses, they were damned souls.
Cool. So, what are you gonna do?
I guess is there any sort of acolyte or, attendant?
Make a perception check. See what you see looking around.
Started to pull up my character sheet.
The cookies aren't very good.
Thank you.
Like an orange on there.
It's pink lemonade.
It's sugar-free pink lemonade. So it's
Very
actually
good.
it's a little bit of cherry juice and a little bit of lemon juice. It's sparkling water, basically.
It's nice. It's very good.
And it's real juice.
I've been making shrubs out of pureed fruit.
Like mocktail kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I pour it in sparkling water. It's pretty good.
Dude,
That's
okay.
a good mocktail, although stay away from it right now.
Yeah.
That's a natural 20 for a total of 25.
Oh gosh. Look, coming up, you see a few people hanging around the area. One in particular in dark charcoal and purple kind of robes. A dark charcoal outer robe over an inner robe of purple. A drow. It seems to be very kind of kindly, like hands folded in front of them, just nodding to people as they come in and out or go by. Seems very chill for somebody devoted to wealth, but they do have a little pendant with the device of the spider that's fairly familiar to you at this point.
Yeah, well, I will approach the drow and say, yes, excuse me, are you the spiritual leader here?
Smooth.
You may say, wait a minute, let me look up my character list. As they kind of look up at you, you realize you're not quite sure about gender. The robes kind of are kind of voluminous, and the hair is brought back, white hair, or off-white hair brought back into a ponytail, the dark purplish skin, and they look at you and say, I'm the proprietor of this here shrine.
Great.
Her name's Tanila.
Tanila? I think I may have displeased your good god Loth a while back, and I was just wondering if there's any way I can make this right. There's something in particular that Loth likes that I could bring. She's fond of a particular type of flower. I don't know. What's Loth's favorite flower?
They kind of give you this look, like a kind of a frown and a tilt of the head.
I don't know how this all works, really. I'm not a religious person.
That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. How exactly did you upset the great and powerful Loth?
It's a long story.
They kind of make this like gesture with their hand and touch the pendant as they.
Well, I mean, a couple of things. I did have a ruby of hers that I ended up losing.
You don't have to read it.
A blessed object, maybe you'd call it.
It's really cursed. Go on. Just a blessed object that you.
Yeah, I misplaced
How
that.
do we get her off our case?
I mean, sacrifices will usually do it.
Okay.
In the end, though, really the easiest way is just to serve her. You just gotta do what she asks. That's like I'm doing here. You have to just surrender
interested.
to
I'd
a
rather
higher
trust me.
power, and she being the
Wow.
highest. I mean, secretly so.
All right, plan
The
B.
day I surrender is the day I die.
Well,
Well,
plan
oh well.
A very different direction with this.
We'll just avoid it.
Well, I mean, hold on. You obviously know that there's something wrong that you can't necessarily fix yourself. So we might be able to help you. I'm just saying.
is that with the sacrifice?
Well, the sacrifice could help. I mean, maybe there's a form of service that you would be okay with. Some are with some are with others. You know, it just depends. Obviously, if you manage to get a hold of such an item, then you're capable in some way. So, see, there you go. So you just gotta have a little faith in yourself, and love, of course.
I mean, I think ultimately my goal would be to not serve Loth. And that's I mean that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, sure, it's
As
great.
deities go, she's one of the best.
You don't want an 8-legged dummy, mommy? I mean, no pressure here. Just saying.
Yeah, so if we came around, you might have like something that we could do, like a job or some kind of.
Well, just start. I mean, it's an ongoing process, really.
Oh, dear.
It doesn't end. It's like anything in life. You have to
Jump
work
is
on it,
just like,
and it's not like you don't get to a point and you're just okay. Like, you have to be able to work on yourself. It's definitely the postmodern version of a Loth shrine. They're,
Well, thank you.
well, you know,
Yeah.
please, I mean, just remember we're here.
Yep.
Should you need us.
We got some friends we got to catch up with.
All right. Are you taking off?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
one away. Plan
I don't
B.
know what we
As
thought
you're
we
kind of
Take a
walking away.
brochure.
I don't know
They don't
what
have a
we
brochure,
thought.
but as you're walking away, you see the metal child reach into the small pouch. He keeps it aside, take out a brochure, and hand it to. It has kind of a
Nice.
badly drawn picture of the sun on it. And
Oh god.
he just kind of puts it in their hand and then follows you.
Yeah. So that was Plan A. Plan B. You might skip Plan B. Plan B. Plan B was gonna be if that didn't work, I was literally gonna just like walk next door to the next temple over and just be like, "What can you guys do to get Loth off my back?" But
I mean,
that would probably just put me in service of another.
I don't know. Make a religion check. See if you know who could get Loth off your back. Because there are some gods that don't like other gods quite a bit. Like we found out last session.
Oh, I didn't know if you knew that was there. A religion check?
Yeah.
Honestly, can't remember if my god has an issue with her or not.
23.
think so.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, except for what was the number?
23.
23 with her religion check. You do know that far back in the day, there was a split amongst the elves, which is in kind of legendary terms where Drow first came from when they followed Loth underground. And there's a deity known as the Arkheart, who a lot of elves still follow. who's kind of an esoteric kind of deity. Doesn't speak a lot to their followers, but generally is the one known to have driven wealth underground into the Underdark.
The Arkheart?
The Arkheart. Or the Archheart. I don't know. It's hard to... It's all one word.
So would I recognize a follower or a temple or any religious symbols if I know that? That's a thing.
You know the symbol. It's kind of a little bit of a starburst. A starburst formed from like several like almost arrow points. You know, one going left, right, one going up and down. In the middle, there's two crescent moons that touch on their backs, and it kind of makes this interesting starburst. And I'd say you probably have seen that symbol on several people going through town, mostly on elves or half-elves, but occasionally on somebody else.
Well, I guess if the next time I see one, I'm just gonna say like, hey, I really like your necklace or whatever, like the symbol is on,
Okay.
and then just inquire about a temple.
Yeah. Make a general perception check to see who you see walking by as you're walking through the city. You might not see one right now, but.
And I'm looking out for where the rest of the party would be. I'm staying close to him, but I'm just like keeping an eye out.
Alright, you also make a perception check for that specifically.
Oof, that's a 7.
7. Okay, good to know. Excuse me.
17.
17. Okay. Also good to know. You're still early in the day and you're quite a ways away from it at the moment. But, as you're walking through, like in this kind of temple district, I mean, it's not all temples, but there's more here. Eventually, you start to see a few fewer, and you come into more kind of residential, occasional market kind of areas. The city's laid out kind of weird. It's definitely in concentric circles, but often the roads of those kind of will cross into a different circle or into a different circle, and they're all over the place. It's easy to get lost. Even the large buildings, some of them going 12, 15 stories high, are that same kind of curving architecture of that dark purple, grayish stone, with these terraced gardens that seem to come out from parts of them and on the tops of all of them. It's very nice but easy to get lost in. Like I said, after a while though, Crom, you're walking along trying to keep an eye out for your friends, and suddenly it sounds like somebody is talking directly into your ear.
Not as him.
And as that happens, it's not a familiar voice. And you kind of jerk your head over as it begins, and it says, "This is a courtesy call from the Slayer's Take. Please let us know the status of your dragon contract. You can respond to this message."
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Oh no.
And that's exactly 25 words.
Was there something we were supposed to be doing? A dragon?
What?
Do we have a mission that was on the books for us to do a thing?
Oh, you talking about from the Slayer's Take?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why didn't you say anything?
Oh, you just asked me.
Okay.
Because he didn't, you didn't hear
Oh.
anything. It was
What
only
made
you
you?
that
Yeah,
heard
what
it.
made you think of that all of a sudden?
I don't know. There's weird things happening in my brain. Voices. Don't be
They're
worried.
called
Don't be
thoughts.
worried.
Thoughts, Crom.
No, it's not
Yeah.
my voice, but it's not my voice.
Oh, sounds like sending.
What?
Nope, it's a magic thing.
Anyway, it's creepy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Sounds
I
like
don't
a classic sending spell.
Feels like an invasion of privacy. I
Um,
probably gave her permission to do it somehow when I signed a contract, though. So.
well, I think
It's not contracts.
we were supposed to. We were supposed to rid an area of a dragon.
Did we do that?
I mean,
Well, you stole from a dragon and then ran away.
Oh.
You were supposed to rid the mountain of the dragon.
which dragon was that?
It was an ancient red dragon.
The ancient red dragon.
Oh. Whoops.
That's why you don't deal with dragons.
Yeah,
We
I
weren't
think
dealing with dragons.
we managed to we poofed it away for a second.
We planned
Maybe,
on doing it once we leveled up. You know, we got stronger, got better equipment.
So I think you need to respond.
Oh, I hate talking to people. How do I respond?
I mean, you could just, I'll say you can just will yourself to respond and you feel a kind of a tingling and you know you're responding.
Oh, okay.
Just to be like,
What are you gonna say?
hold on, we're busy fighting a dragon. Get back to you.
I mean, I guess you could tell him
Oh, I got hit.
that the dragon too strong. Sorry. Or
Reception bad.
yeah, I can't hear you. You're cutting out. You could say that they're all dead. They're all dead. Don't call back. They died fighting a dragon.
Is up to you.
Okay, so I'm going to think a response back and say, oh my god, you guys, sorry I missed your call. I'm still working on that thing, have not forgot about it, just trying to take care of some business so I can do that thing for you. Totally. When do you need that done by? Just let me know. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Is there a deadline?
I think that was before my time.
It was.
It was somewhere, it's in my notes somewhere. But
For my time too.
You have a lot going on.
Do y'all use D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What does it say?
Yeah,
That
about
was
with
going to Wizards of the Coast.
Oh yeah, that should be in the next
Wednesday.
couple of days. Yeah, it's gonna be probably open up
Yeah.
a lot more things that
So,
they can do.
that was the thing.
I think y'all did. That was a very angry dragon that you stole from.
Whoops. And it's still angry, probably.
It wasn't angry before. Let's go.
I mean, there's also
It wasn't angry with us. So,
we also have there's some other dragon stuff we got going on.
oh.
I think we have a dragon egg,
Sword?
like a dragon hybrid egg,
We
like
should
in
make
our
a
possession.
rule.
Don't we have it like in the bag of
Don't
holding?
accept
we
any
do.
more side quests until we finish the other side quests.
No more dragons.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
So,
It's in the name.
I like them.
because we're supposed to be protecting, like looking out for a dragon child, and then also doing something, protecting this dragon egg, this hybrid dragon egg that we have in the bag of holding.
Kennard doesn't know about the egg, right?
No, he does not.
Good.
He never will if we can help it.
Good.
Well, I mean, eventually something's gonna happen with that.
They make good omelets.
Big omelets.
But
Big omelet. This one seems to be made of stone.
I mean, it's a giant ancient dragon.
I'm a dwarf.
Yeah.
Well,
I can crack it. Give
and
it time.
it's not technically it's not a dragon egg.
It's a chimera.
It's as much a
hybrid.
dragon egg as it is a
Medusa, I think.
basilic egg. No, yeah. Wasn't it
Yeah.
So it's a Leviathan?
a gorgon something? I don't know.
It's a baby.
Hey, if it's a Leviathan, I'm okay with Leviathan.
It's
I don't like
halfsies. It's
It's-
halfsies.
It's way too early before it's born to really know what it may be. It may be bright, it may be stupid, we just can't say.
Who knows?
Mama got around.
Mm-hmm.
In any case.
Well, yeah, I guess,
But you're still walking through. You responded, you don't hear anything back.
Okay.
But you're aware that they are wondering.
They probably, yeah.
Signed a contract and then skipped town.
I went. We had other. It's all going to the main goal of that dragon.
saving the world.
Okay, so I'm still looking out for them. What's your thing?
Oh, I guess
You're looking for somebody with a arc heart symbol.
begrudgingly, yeah.
While we also look for the rest of the party.
I mean, as you're looking with that roll that you had, it's like you had seen a couple upon coming into town, but you're not seeing anything right now.
Do you have a ring?
Got a couple of rings.
The ring of communication.
I don't know who else, if anybody
I
else
do.
has one.
I have
Oh,
one.
I
You still have one on?
Well, let's
Oh.
You
try
got
that.
one.
We don't
I
know
don't know
that,
if you ever got
but
one.
we try it.
I'm still singing.
I'm out of tune with mine. I gave it to somebody.
I don't have one, so.
I gave mine to Sleep Heal, I think, because
Yeah.
I couldn't attune to it. So try it. Just try it. Why haven't I tried that sooner?
Well, we weren't really looking for the
Oh,
rest
yeah,
of the
yeah.
party
Yeah, you
until
had your-
now. I mean, we just
Your
sort of
thing. Okay. Go for it.
realized that we were lost from
Cool.
each other.
All right.
Go
So, Roland?
Yeah.
Roland, are you there?
Over. Yes.
Oh, thank God. We seem to have lost you guys.
Where are you at?
Where were you? What you guys doing?
Where are you at?
Well, we're
On
a
this,
little
At this
Yeah.
point, I imagine I don't know.
I'm
where-
trying to think of where it would be in the timeline.
I
We've
think
kind of
we-
gone back.
I think.
Are we still early in the day?
I
Yeah.
mean, it's taken a little bit.
I think we're maybe
Probably at the
still
statue?
walking.
Maybe you're at the statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna retcon a little bit.
We're at the kitty cat statue.
I don't know if we saw that.
You have not seen that yet.
You would notice if you had.
Center of town.
Bring some catnip.
I mean, you've been kind of wandering a little bit.
Can we tell where the center of town is?
I mean, because the bowl of town kind of slightly heads down, very, very slightly. So you can tell as if you head inward in the circles.
All right, we'll start making our way there. Hey, don't get into any trouble while we're gone. You try to hold it down over there, Roland.
I try.
Right after this,
Yeah.
This is after I've paid somebody to spy on them.
I was gonna say yeah. So.
Yeah. Keep them out of trouble.
Spy on me?
Well, no, I paid the
Oh,
skill
to
to
make
try to
sure-
keep
okay.
y'all.
Yeah, just to kind of
keep-
like keep an eye on us, make sure we don't
Yeah.
get in over our heads or
Yeah.
you know
Tra-
something crazy.
Y'all haven't seen anybody like killing you or anything, don't they? Maybe they did.
never will.
So I'll keep an eye out for wherever we're supposed to be headed. And
I guess we head towards the center of town.
also, if I can look also for the kinku.
Oh,
That we
yeah.
discussed earlier.
Yeah, that can be included in that.
I'll keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
He just kind of dipped out.
Oh well,
on us.
I could.
He did. I mean, you got separated from them and you,
Okay.
so they have no idea where he is.
I suppose. Well, we know the direction of center of town. I was saying like I could send Simone to fly around and kind of like
Cool.
see if Simone can see the kitty statue, but it probably that way because center of town. So
It took me a second. Sorry, I just remembered.
yeah, I forgot I had a familiar.
The Raven Simone.
The Raven
Yeah.
Simone.
Yep.
Anyway, it's good.
We workshopped it.
You have to with these things. I've recently found a whole list of Rimir the Grammarian stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I've seen a couple of good
Probably
ones.
run into somebody with one of those.
Yeah, I definitely need to
There's
figure
some
out
good
what
ones out there.
spells I have that would work besides the few that I've used.
In any case, walking through
I
eventually.
haven't used it for anything of consequence really, but
You do eventually, you're kind of angling towards the center, kind of almost in a spiral, looking throughout town. And it takes a little bit, but you get to maybe closer to sundown or so, or right at sundown even. You find yourself in a large, you could call it a square. It's not exactly square, but it's a large open space with different statues in it, and in the center, a large, like 40-something foot, maybe more than that, maybe, statue of a humanoid, like cat person with 4 wings coming out of their back. Around their head, a halo of like broken, glowing crystal. And yeah, nearby, because you were looking at and you had a pretty good perception roll, you see Lysander, just kind of maybe 20 feet in front of the statue with his lute out playing. The lute case in front of him, a few coins already thrown in it, and he's playing to the statue, it looks like.
I think he's facing the wrong way. Wow, no, looks like he's busking.
Well, I mean, you can
He's
multitask.
doing a slash. He refuses to play to the crowd.
Or a Maynard.
He's got artistic integrity or something. What do you want to do? He's maybe 100 feet off, like it's a big square.
And he's
Should we just keep going?
He's the only one of your party that you see here.
right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
The other two haven't wandered off at this point.
I mean, I guess. Let's go talk to him. I guess we go over and politely listen to his song. You know, we're not gonna like, hey, Lysander! So we're not gonna we're polite, enjoying the tunes.
Yeah. As you're walking over, you're almost there when, Chomp, suddenly you feel like something grabs your ankle. Make a dex saving throw.
It's a really low grab.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's really low to the ground.
What's low to the ground? Spider.
Sometimes they're high.
It's
Sometimes real on the ground.
true.
They could be everywhere.
Why is there always gotta be spiders? Dexterity saving throw?
Yeah, dexterity saving throw.
Saving throw. Woo! 21.
Alright. You trip for a second and your arms windmill, but you manage to stop and
I'm cool.
catch your, and looking behind you, you don't see anything. There's not even a rock out of place there or anything.
You alright?
Yeah, I just thought there was something that place is weird.
Yeah.
Stay close to me, Crom. Or I'm gonna stick close to you.
You want to piggyback that? Are you okay?
I do kind of like nothing. Well, I don't want you to lift my feet up.
Alright, just let me know.
Lysander, you notice as the three, the Crom, Chomp, and the metal child walk up, kind of to the side, and you finish the song, and they are politely clapping.
I don't like look at them because
Okay.
I'm trying to catch
Yeah,
this.
you catch him out of the corner of your eye, and so
What's going on?
You will see Lysander's just like starts talking to you, but is staring directly at the statue.
Yeah,
As
because
if
the
he's
moment
trying-
you look away, it turns.
as if he's trying to like catch it moving. Yeah.
But he's talking to us. He's able to respond
Yeah.
to us.
But I'm just gonna keep staring at it. So he,
Like he's
I'm not
barely,
gonna-
he's only occasionally blinking even.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So we're like,
What's happening?
we start talking, and then we're like, hey, but what?
They say this thing moves, but not when anybody's looking, and I'm gonna catch it.
Oh dear.
Or you're gonna keep it from moving because you're looking at it.
Well, then I guess I'll never move again.
Well, what?
So where's the rest of the party? You know where Roland and
Do I know where they went?
You know, Roland wandered off with to possibly find that same tavern you had been to earlier. It was basically a thieves' tavern down that little alleyway. You're not exactly sure where Gundar went to.
Well,
He
he
said
said
he has
the
some
little
business to
information I
take care
have,
of.
which is nothing.
Okay, so
I'm glad I don't need backup.
this is the cat statue that Roland was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's gone.
Lysander can also tell you real quick
Yeah.
that
Okay.
what this statue is. It's known as the Observer, and it's what has allowed this city in the middle of the jungle to survive for thousands of years, even through the calamity when almost every other city on Earth was wiped out, or on Exandria was wiped out. Like whatever this statue is, it itself is a magical being, and also isn't, and it protects the city. And lights all of the little floating glow globes that you've seen all throughout the city. And yeah. And
You're trying to get it moved.
supposedly sometimes it moves when nobody's looking. Which, looking at the number of people, even at sundown, just walking through, going to different places and hanging out in this big square, it's hard to believe there's ever a time when nobody's looking.
What it does is gotta get that scratch. I don't know, stone scratch. It gets you.
Leaning up against the wall, watching all the chaos. He started.
I mean, you could be. You had found your friend Kerful.
Yeah.
And then the last we had heard was that you were going off to kind of have a drink with him
Oh, right.
and discuss things. And that's
Yeah.
when we jumped over to
Yeah.
Gundar and the
Okay.
chaos.
Do the ring. Figure out where Roland is.
Okay.
So I ask, are you guys? you guys
Are
done?
you
You
guys-
got all the information you need?
Oh yeah, we went to try
It's
to
gonna stay.
figure out some stuff, and I don't
It's a
know.
statue. It can wait you out, man.
But I'm gonna get it, tap its toes, man. I'm gonna find something in my repertoire that
Alright.
it can't help but to bebop to.
And then what?
Then I will have succeeded.
Then he can put it away and carry on.
Okay, Crom, I'm thinking about casting animate object on this thing and just making it move for a second, and then we can get out of here. Just satisfy him. I don't know if that would work.
You're like, I got it! And I start
I do.
performing another song.
I do, but if this thing really is like a big magical object or something, I don't think it would work. We usually cast it on inanimate, like mundane.
What if you just cast it on the pedestal it's on and turn the pedestal?
Yeah, good idea.
I don't know, I might
There's
have
gotta be a size limit on this thing.
That is the thing. You can cast animate object on a huge object.
But I mean, that would just be actually
It's worth a try.
my gnomish mischievousness would probably think that would be a funny thing to do, Lysander.
It's up to you.
I was gonna turn my ring on again and be like, Roland, we're at the crazy cat statue thing. Lysander's here.
He's still there.
Yeah, he's still there.
Is he still staring
He
at
is
the
still
statue?
staring at the statue, yes. Where'd you guys go?
Well,
What?
we left Lysander there. I'm here. And
Here.
Where's
I
here?
don't think I can hear it, but
Gundar, I'm not really sure where he is right now.
You're probably fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's okay. I mean, he's pretty good at taking care of himself.
Laying, bleeding out in an alley. Help me.
consequences.
I'm actually fine, surprisingly.
Oh.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
a little singed, but otherwise.
So what have y'all found out today?
We
religion's
I
a
don't know if
sham.
I can
and-
talk through.
Are you just now
Can
figuring
I
that
talk
out?
through his ring? Like, is it
Yeah,
like
you
a
should be able to talk
walkie-talkie
through it.
thing?
We'll say that, yeah, you can.
Talk to the hand.
Like, if he.
Give me your
he
hand.
hands, you can just grab his
Yeah,
hand.
I'm
Roland.
talking and you grab the hand and be like, roll in, roll in.
Roland, can you hear me?
Roland, we forgot to do the thing with the dragon. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
First place. God, I'm forgetting everybody's names today.
Chomp and Crom.
Chomp, don't you realize that religion is the opiate of the masses?
I know, right? I know. I was trying to use it for a practical purpose and it just continues to fail me at every turn.
Yeah. And what were you saying, Crom?
Oh, yeah, Crom got a message from the, what are they called? The Slayer's Take.
Slayer.
Yeah. Crom got a call from Slayer and they're mad or they're concerned about, like, we had signed a contract about killing this dragon.
Red dragon.
Oh, didn't they say, if I remember correctly, was it specified we had to kill the dragon, or was it specified that we just had to get the dragon to stop bothering people?
I don't think we did either.
Oh, I mean, either way, we didn't do either one of those things.
I think we take it now.
We did.
Yeah, well,
I think we just pissed it and
Yeah,
it's
we-
kobolds off.
yeah. I hate
Right?
them
What
all.
is the kobold one?
Yeah.
A bunch of kobolds that kept coming, and we ended up just like, I think we used banishment or some sort of like
Yeah,
just get in and get out spell.
Remember,
More
Surface
strong.
fell into the pit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work through its legendary resistances and then
Yeah. Well,
Zippo cast banishment, I remember. Yeah.
now, yeah, is the Slayers Guild, are you sure that's who you heard? It could just be a guilty conscience.
I don't think I have one of those.
Maybe you're developing one.
Yeah, could be. You'd be the only one in the group that's going that way.
Anyway, let's all get back together and we can talk about next steps.
That would be good. Shane, where is?
So you're at the shaky knife with Fearful.
Nice.
All right.
Shaky.
I can meet you out on a street soon. Give me 30 minutes or so, and I can meet you outside this alley.
It's a booty call. What you doing?
Honey, everything's a booty call, but just not always a successful one.
Damn.
So yeah, I can meet y'all on a street corner in about 30 minutes. I don't, y'all know where Lysander is.
Yeah. I
Gundar.
don't think he's gonna move soon.
Maybe we could just I don't know.
Leave Gundar?
No, Gundar.
Oh.
No. Listen, Lysander,
Rude.
we have to leave.
Rude?
No, but I'm sure Gundar is fine, and we'll just figure out a way to catch up with him.
Okay.
Taking my shit and going home.
All right.
Alright.
So you all are gonna try to find. You're gonna try to. Are
Hook
you
up with
actually casting animate object on this thing?
You should.
Hey Lysander, so what if you saw this thing move right now, then what would you do? Like, is this just to satisfy curiosity or obsession? Like, you see it move and then what? You just you done
We're
or
not gonna do anything rash.
You don't know.
He does it.
actually I do have animate object prepared already.
Now you're gonna try to do this secretly.
Let's see. Verbal and somatic.
Yeah. So you'd need to make a sleight of hand.
I mean, I'm pretty focused, so.
Yeah, I don't think
I'd say
it would be too hard
You
to.
could. Yeah, you could probably do it at advantage right now. I'd say.
Just reading through.
Okay.
could do whatever you want.
Yeah, so,
For 60 seconds.
yeah, I will, like, get somewhere behind Lysander where he can't see me and back up a little bit. And I'm gonna cast Animate Object on... Yeah, I guess maybe not the statue, but the pedestal, the base of it. Or I don't think I can, because it has to be a non-magical object. And
I mean, you're not sure what part of this is magical.
yeah.
Like, you think that the crystal, like, halo might be magical, but...
So how big is the statue? Like, in a size category between tiny and huge?
It's huge. Like, it might even be bigger than that, but it's we're gonna say that you think you could handle it.
And just the pedestal is large, or
I think
just
he's
all?
saying you should.
Okay, I'm gonna cast it on the statue. The whole piece.
All right, make a sleight of hand check at advantage. Get some popcorn.
White check. I think I got. I hope I did.
It looks like a return.
I hope this works.
So that's a 15.
Sean, what's Lysander's passive perception?
Divide by 2. Because he's got 1 on the other.
I think it's pretty high.
Like for this, it would probably be a little less because you're concentrating on something else. But
I wasn't sure how that worked. If it's like
yeah,
it's
well,
advantage or it's advantage.
it's usually 17. I mean, it's close. Let me ask you: do you think you'd notice it?
I guess not.
Okay.
It would just be like some
the
whispered
rule of
words.
cool, do it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's
It's
that's
got
why
a-
I'm asking him.
It's got 120 foot range, so I can.
Yeah, you're definitely within range. What are you having to do? Everybody in the whole square suddenly turns.
Oh, God, I
as
forgot.
there's this.
Forgot about that.
There's probably several hundred people at different places walking through and stuff, and suddenly, like, just
Oh,
the
dude,
outspread
it's like
hands like this
Ghostbusters.
start going, and there's a little bit of dust that comes out, and it starts to move. What are you having it do? Your love keeps lifting me higher, so it's playing for some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I love Ghostbusters too. It's a great book.
oh god, this is working. This is so awesome.
So the whole statue's moving?
Like it like suddenly shifts and like from it doesn't it's not quite moving yet, but what are you gonna have to do? Like Lysander's playing music, so
Yeah, I'm gonna have it. Are you standing like? Is it facing you already? Would you kind of like be?
Yeah, probably.
go off to the side. But
Yeah, so I'll have it kind of like turn, and I'm gonna get it to just like move over, like turn towards Lysander, like squared up to
Oh,
him,
so creepy.
and then just kind of dance a little to the music, just sort of shuffle its feet, in place a little bit.
as this huge cat person statue with the 4 wings up in the glowing halo just kind of turns towards you, and with this of the stone on stone, it just starts like doing the worst like dad dance.
You just inadvertently made him the most popular musician in all of history.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I lose my composure for a second. I was like,
Like people
I fucking knew it! I was gonna
gets
quit!
so quiet.
But now I have the motivation I need to keep this going.
Oh no! Bye, Lysander.
And you never saw Lysander.
Let's see, what would I mean, I definitely... So, yeah.
Converting.
Clearly the style of music that I'm playing now is its jam.
Yeah.
So I have to pick another song, at least one other song,
Did other people see it?
that is
Everybody
like
else is seeing
a
it.
similar style.
Everybody freezes at first, and then people start to like jog up.
And I'm
Some to
just,
Lysander, and like a crowd starts to form, and the others are just kind of coming up and just watching, like in amazement.
I'm totally going all out on this one. Like cantrips, the magic instrument, the do some acrobatics.
You become the one-man band.
I'm gonna do some crazy shit.
Okay. Like Lysander just goes.
Have you ever seen
Out.
somebody play a lute while doing backflips?
And for 60 seconds, this statue is just dancing, and like eventually some of the guards from that are stationed at different entrances in these huge loxodons with their tusks and trunks and the plate mail start wandering over, and they're watching and looking back and forth between you and the statue. But after 60 seconds, it kind of turns back to the same position it had been in and just freezes again and stops moving.
It's just kind of like Excalibur.
I imagine there's like
Yeah.
there's a beat or two of just like dead silence. Everybody's just like shocked.
And then
And then
cheers!
just everybody just throws up whatever's in their hands, and people just go fucking nuts.
Roll a d20.
What am I trying to do here?
Just roll me a d20 and see what you got.
Excuse me.
Not great.
Making it rain.
6.
6. You end up with 60 gold worth of different coins. That's the thing about bards, you know. I could have had you do a performance check, but you don't need a performance for this. It's just people just like in their exuberance.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm a little depressed.
Someone
now.
throws you
I
their
don't know if
firstborn
I
child.
just
Yeah.
realized, like,
I don't know if I'm gonna ever
he's
live
been
up to
the
this
butt
again.
of 2 practical jokes so far.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody do a spell where they were dirty or something?
Yeah. So, or didn't somebody make him dirty?
Something?
No.
Yeah.
No,
He cleaned me.
he
cleaned
cast
him.
the spell on him.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
And I
right.
wouldn't really classify what happened to him as a joke. That just made him like famous.
Yeah.
Do they have Lysander up on their shoulders, like marching around?
Like, there's
cheering?
people coming over and like patting on the back. And
So now it's gonna be a while because I gotta meet my fans, sign some autographs. And
2 different innkeepers come up and they hand you a card and say, "We come play tonight."
We push our way
Good
through,
job.
I think.
Well, that backfired.
Well, no, we're gonna like push our way up there, following Crom's lead, pushing through.
Sorry, security. Security.
We know him. We know him. That's my friend.
All right.
Okay.
I'll try to leave with them. Try to get past my fans. Sign some breasts along the way.
All right, congratulations.
Sign my
Alexander, you
baby.
did it. Let's
Forehead. Don't watch that.
let's get out of
I
here.
mean, worth something.
I better not see that on eBay later.
Oh boy. All right.
Anyway, as you all are leaving the square, and like it takes a few minutes, but some people kind of follow you for a little bit. But some people are going up and touching the feet on the pedestal. 'Cause it's a good 40-foot statue. Like it's big. Chomp. As you all are leaving the square, you turn back for a second to look at the statue, and you swear it winks at you.
It's a weird day. Weird town.
It's a weird thing. Anyway, with a little bit of help from Lysander knowing where to go, eventually you find the alley entrance and meet up with Rolling 20-30 minutes later. Gundar, around this time, you are just getting done coming this close to being able to sacrifice an acolyte of the
I'm very bummed about that.
Yeah.
I'm very bummed.
Of Melora, the Wild Mother. But The priests get them away from you and manage to corral you a bit. And eventually they retreat, leaving you. You start hearing the thump, 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 thump. Not especially loud, and you don't feel a reverberation from the ground, but you can hear the plate mail, like jingling of the Loxodon guards coming from several different directions, maybe about a block away. What are you doing in the meantime? Because you don't have a. Do you have a main communication?
Mm-mm.
No. What are you doing?
He's not in the club yet.
I guess I'm just gonna go in the direction that the priests were going in.
I mean, they're with a large crowd, and they're going back into the.
I'm committed.
And there are you hear dozens of Loxodons in plate mail. All right, you're probably gonna die here. I'm just letting you know as the player. All
I'm
right.
committed. I mean, I'm pissed. Gundar's pissed. He wanted that, and it got away from him.
Okay. I mean, if you're gonna run after him, what are you gonna do? Like the one, head priest, obviously is that was obvious that had kind of confronted you in the end. Is the last one in the group that's moving away, and they're most of the group is to the gates of the temple. And
I'm gonna try and get to him. I'm
okay.
counting on the fact that they probably aren't expecting me to keep chasing them.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna try and close any gap between us.
I mean, they're not running, so it doesn't take long. You just attacking him?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Just a normal attack.
I mean, it's up to you.
Okay.
It's your action.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what happens.
Yes, we are.
Bring it up.
Because I committed to it. I'll just roll both attacks.
That's a good idea.
27 and 20.
Highlight. There we go. 27 and 20. 20 doesn't hit.
Alright,
But
so just
27
one attack.
does. One hits.
And he was already low health, wasn't he?
I mean, he was getting lower. Like, he seemed to have a good amount of health.
31 damage.
Okay. As you come across, the first one misses, the second one connects, and he stumbles because you hit him in the back. And he turns around. I'm just going to call it his turn. And yeah. Got 5 charges of that left. So. He turns around and brings his staff down just like he had last time, and you feel that same kind of static energy in the air and realize suddenly there is a wall of force between you and him. Like he found out what works, and so he's gonna do it.
I mean, we've already found out I don't really have a counter to that. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, and so he's just holding you there as the rest of everybody moves in and they begin to close the gates. Loxodons coming around. There's probably, gosh.
Margaret, have an extra blank character sheet for Andrew.
So,
I've got plenty of him.
watching 3 dozen from different directions of the plate armored Loxodons with their long halberds.
Did you say how many there were?
3 dozen.
Okay.
Like 36-ish. Yep. Come up as you're still being held in kind of this dome of force. They kind of range about you, weapons pointed. As just a couple minutes later, the priest, as the gates close, releases the spell, and you're there with the city guards all around you. What would you like to do?
I guess I put my axe away because, I mean, my fight isn't with them.
That's true. They look fairly angry, or at least very serious, not exactly angry. The priests of Meloro are very angry. As he closes, the the gates are closing, actually looking at you, he says, "Do not come back." And the gates, the wooden.
Was that the priest that said that to me, or
The
was
priest,
it?
the priest says that as the gates are coming closed. These fairly strong-looking wooden gates. And yeah, as the wall of force dissipates, one of the plate armored Loxodons with a little bit more ornate armor on comes up to you with these heavy looking shackles and kind of drops them in front of you and says, "Would you please come with us?"
I don't mind coming with you, but I'm not putting on the shackles. I'll come with you.
He kind of gives you a side look, blows some air out of his trunk, and the dust kind of goes up in front of him. And it's fair. They kind of arrange themselves in a box, several, a couple Loxodons wide on all sides of you, and they just start walking through the city towards the center.
I'm wondering, since I paid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
your tail would know this is
Yeah,
happening.
it would come back and tell us what he just did.
It'll take a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Maybe. Are you allowing them to kind of just guide you through
I
them?
mean, I don't really have a choice. They're much bigger than me.
Okay. So, they're bringing you through. Around the time, fine rolling, a young, what's the word? The cat peoples.
Not Khajiit.
Tabaxi.
Tabaxis. There's so many cat people, and there are several species of them here, but Tabaxis is the one I was thinking of. A young Tabaxi, kind of cheetah in appearance, runs up and kind of taps you on the hip, and as you bend down, they whisper in your ear, telling you that Gundar has been is being brought by city guards to city center.
What did he do?
They tell you that he desecrated a temple of Melora, knocked out one of the acolytes, and was attempting to sacrifice them when then confronted by a group of the priests.
I think Roland would probably just sigh.
Are we with?
Were there
Yeah.
now too?
Yeah, you're all with
So
with
we all
Roland.
hear this probably.
Yeah. And I'll.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you pestering kids.
I think it's time for an intervention, you guys.
I think it's past time. Are you planning to intervention
Wait.
with those? What are the elephant guards called?
No,
The
with
Loxodon?
The
with
Loxodons?
Gundar.
I don't think we can get to Gundar. I think we'd have to go through
Well,
the-
I mean, eventually, if we do
We need
recover
to
him,
stop trying to kill
he's
people.
got to get on board with the group quest
Yeah.
and our values and our goals and stuff, or we have to say bye.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean,
I mean, we're not above getting in trouble,
yeah, he's been a good ally at some points, but he's
Yeah.
going to pull this kind of attention
Yeah.
stunt. Yeah, I mean, does he really expect us to rescue him?
but
As
Do you feel like
I think we would be badly outnumbered.
he's
Oh.
sneaky about it? Doesn't
We know.
I mean, can we ask
can
the
we be
Tabaxi?
diplomatic about it?
I
I mean,
do know
we
there-
did want an audience with the Archons or whatever, right?
the Tetrarchs?
Tetrarchs, that's it.
We know there are tunnels under the city, but
I
I
don't
don't know if he can
want to.
bring this on himself.
Yeah, I don't want to make. I don't think he is worth making more enemies for.
So
No, and
the Tabaxi said that he's been taken into custody.
Yes.
well, I do want to ask the Tabaxi how many guards were there take around him. I mean, if it's like one or two guards.
This young Tabaxi, like on unclogged fingers, and then goes to two more, and goes to a third set of. And
A lot.
I mean, we could just.
yeah,
act like
and then they
we
say
don't-
a lot.
Uh huh.
I'm very proud
I
that
was
I took
gonna ask-
36 of them.
What?
At this point, I had to do something.
So, young Tabaxi, how do things usually go around here? Is he awaiting trial, or is there just an immediate judgment that he goes to, or just immediate punishment? Like what's gonna happen to him? Yeah.
And they say, I'm not sure. I don't know. Nobody's ever really done something like this, but he didn't kill anybody. So he might be brought in front
Not
of.
for a lack of trying.
He might be brought in front of at least one of the tetrarchs. Of course, there's the big meeting going on, so it might take a while. I don't know.
I feel. No, I don't feel bad for him. No, what am I saying?
I don't feel bad for me.
Yeah.
He owns his choices.
Yeah. I think. I mean,
I had a
Would we
grand
be
plan here.
Would we be okay with ourselves if we didn't try?
against 36 of those things.
Not to do it in our usual way, because I don't.
Yeah,
know
I don't
if,
think the answer here is to.
I don't.
to storm.
I don't know if we need this place because it's kind of cool place.
Yeah, I think
and
we should leave this place in peace.
I feel like making more enemies is not great because we're kind of outnumbered when it comes to that guy that we tried to fight earlier, the yellow guy.
Yeah,
I feel like we need some more partners and.
Yeah, I feel like Gundar has just sort of screwed himself over.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, I don't feel like Gundar's choices are our responsibility.
We're just practicing what we're gonna say to you in your intervention. Your choices are not benefiting you in order. So, okay, where do we need to go to try to?
I
get 'em out?
think if you will follow me, we can go back from where I came, where I was just at, and we can probably gather good information there. Just remember, no push-up contest here.
Okay.
Alright.
So I'm gonna head back to the Shaky Knife with them.
To be fair, I do have a grand plan in mind.
We may never know that.
No, I'm saying to y'all, not your
Oh
characters.
no, yes.
Yeah.
Character stuff is separate. I understand.
Yeah.
Like I have no qualms. Like I made the choice.
Yeah.
I gotta live with them
Yeah.
to further my plan. That
Sure.
hopefully will help all of us in the very short term. I have a plan.
It seems
Whether it works,
seems doubtful without the rest of us buying in.
Yeah.
well, he was playing to a statue, and you were
Drinking.
drinking,
Things kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
and we had no clue where y'all were.
Yeah. In any
I don't
case,
see
So I made a choice,
Yeah.
relying on my strengths.
Wouldn't it have been easier just to request an interview with the Tetrons or whatever they are?
But do any of us actually know how this city operates?
We're gonna find out how their prison. You're gonna find out how their prison
Yeah.
system operates.
I mean,
Well, they have
you
no.
could base it on other cities
See-
and how they operate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normal.
All they did was
Don't
intervene
attack
in a fight.
yeah. I mean,
They don't know what the fight was about or who the
Well-
instigator was.
Well, let's go
And you
gather
did have
information.
valid religious reasons for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take them back to the Shaky Knife.
And I didn't attack them as soon as they showed up.
Yeah. And
Okay,
Okay.
so you're taking them back to the Shaky Knife.
yeah. And I'm gonna find that goblin after we get in.
As Roland knocks on the door in an odd rhythm, you on this door at the very end of this narrowing alleyway, you see a little like iron peephole, with a pretty large eye, looking out at you, and then they can go back, and it opens up, and you see in front of you another Loxodon, this one in this almost like rogue leathers, with some large daggers in sheaths along either side, almost the size of like a short sword for you. And they kind of gesture you in. But
we hadn't been in here yet.
you haven't been in.
This is so cool.
And you see inside a smoky room with a big lofted ceiling, stairs going up in the back to what looks like maybe a small office on stilts. One little bar, a few tables scattered around, a hearth over to the side, a few people scattered around. A lot of them look unsavory. They're all armed to the teeth.
And I'm going to give you a warning glance again because I know you too well.
Prom has changed.
But there is Purple is still at the bar.
All right,
You have left him there.
the goblin or my friend?
Your friend, the elf.
Oh, I want to speak to the goblin again.
Okay.
Um,
You ask the bouncer. The bouncer goes to find him. Well, as he's doing that,
Uh-huh.
I'm not fucking with these elfin people.
Purple sees you, raises a hand, and comes over. And says, "Yes. Interesting to see you two again." And you immediately recognize this guy as the guy who burned down the barn
No, fuck.
on y'all in the first session.
Okay.
Who apparently Roland had cheated at
This
dice.
is confusing.
No,
'cause I
Roland.
thought we were the ones that burned everything down. So.
We might have burned it down to
You
keep.
might have helped it burn down, but you set it on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just give you a warning look and you. And
And Purple says, "Well, what's going on? You were leaving."
well, we thought so too. But you know, it's a nice place, so we decided to stay a little while longer.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So there was trouble then.
Mhm.
Yes. Well,
No, please tell me.
Oh yeah, because he was part of like an organized crime syndicate.
and
kind of a
he was
underground.
Roland's boss.
Mm.
And yeah. Well,
I'm here. I can help. I know people.
Are we in a crime bar? Is this like a crime? Is this like a crime place?
Like there's a secret knock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You gather.
So you know people.
Imagine Chomp's like.
What have you
squares,
heard
like,
about your take on the incident with our dwarven
Mm.
don't want to go as far as say friend.
Compatriot.
Associate?
Compatriot,
Associate.
yeah, associate.
this dude we know.
Yeah, this dude.
He kind of shakes his
he's
head
been
and is like,
involved.
I haven't heard anything about that. I just meant if there was trouble, I know people who could help you that are some power, some adjacent.
We're not sure yet.
Well, tell me, what
Whether
kind of trouble with a dwarf, you say?
Yes, the dwarf that was in here earlier.
He did have a look about him like he likes to, well, like he was of a single purpose. That type can be dangerous.
Yes, word fanatic just suddenly pops to mind.
Okay. I mean, some of my best friends have been well, for a time anyway, and then they died.
Yes, and that, for all we know, may be happening to him.
Well, I have to say, if the authorities have him here, if I'm gathering that might be what happened. They're fairly reasonable here, and they have to be considering the many different factions that live here, the many different ways of looking at things. So.
Yes.
But so there was a trouble then.
Has Roland did the taxi tell Roland what happened, or is
I mean,
Roland
basically.
like floundering? Okay.
Oh, you can tell him if you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What should he expect?
They should expect not necessarily rough treatment, but to be brought in, and they'll have a quick interview. Depends if this is his first time and nobody was killed or seriously hurt. Then I mean,
There was quite a few seriously
Yeah.
hurt.
And destruction of the temple.
Oh, wait. Destroyed or desecrated or
Desecrated.
You know what I mean? The destruction, I figured I've heard of. But it really depends.
Oh god. Please say it doesn't depend on him being remorseful. Please say it doesn't depend on him being remorseful.
No, I mean it just depends on who you know.
How much gold is helpful to defending?
Oh well, that depends on who he's meeting with. It could be. I can't say that I'm that familiar with the Tetrarch schedule for these things.
I'm surprised you don't have a schedule.
I have one somewhere. I said I'm not totally familiar with it.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't think it.
Did you desecrate a statue? By moving? Okay. So you're not helpful.
So,
I mean, I don't know.
How-
Hold on a sec. There may be somebody to talk to. They're not necessarily in power here, but it sounds like, just based on some things you said in our conversation earlier, I think they might be a mutual acquaintance and we might be able to.
well, we are still discussing among ourselves, admittedly, whether our dwarven accompaniment, accomplice,
Compliment.
Don't take up this.
we would like to
What
know.
was your original alignment?
For
What do you mean, like,
Brun.
oh.
I was just gonna ask them what their
you mean,
alignments
like,
were.
chaotic neutral? Okay.
There was a lot of
Okay.
chaotic neutral in the original alignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I would have like y'all have. I don't know. If I were in y'all's position, I'd be like, he did it.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what Roland.
It's his bed. He's got to sleep in it.
Shady. Okay.
If we were slightly interested, which I'm not sure we are, in helping our associate, how much would it cost us?
It wouldn't necessarily cost anything.
It always has a cost.
Yes, everything has cost. Do not be
I'm
silly.
just monetarily. I mean, you may need to help somebody out.
Of course, what would happen to him if we left him here to rot?
He would rot.
I don't
Yeah.
think he would necessarily rot. Like I said, it all depends. They're very sensitive to circumstance.
Point us in the
Marital pop.
right direction.
What about, how do they feel about sincerely held religious beliefs?
I mean, there is a tetrarch. That is their main purview. Actually, one of the 5 leaders. That is all they do.
Well, maybe he's got a chance.
Yeah, maybe there's like cultural sensitivity classes in here or something.
Well, just follow me. I'll take you through. We'll have some introductions.
But remember, we are not committed one way or the other to his future.
We're only going to talk. We're only going to talk. All right. He leads you out of the shaky knife, and into the early evening of the city of Nerdlepak. You see that things in general have not exactly quieted down, but it's a peaceful place. Even with the busyness of commerce and some people beginning, their kind of end of the day hanging out. But he leads you back towards where you had seen the large statue, eventually coming to the square and then leading further closer to even more the center of the city.
Is Lysander like totally staring at the cat again as we walk? The statue?
He could be. Eventually coming through, and you do see as you walk through, the statue is in a different position than you left it. So at some point in the meantime, it moved again. But eventually, you come up to a huge central complex. Once again, built of that same dark grayish purple stone. The walls of this, though, raising hundreds of feet into the air with these long vertical slits in the outside. Purple, as he is walking the group of you through, nods and waves to a few of the guards who kind of wave him through. Apparently he's known here. And as you come in through to a large courtyard inside the initial ring wall of this, you see the walls of the complex rising up, the main complex rising up in front of you, and different soldiers seem to be camped out in different parts of this kind of courtyard. You see Singorn Verdant Guard, Elven troops here. You see Taldori troops here, which is strange. You're a little close to Singorn, not at all close to Taldori. The messenger is kind of walking back and forth.
Like how much of each army? Just like a regiment or so, or is this place really big and has a whole army?
I mean, it's not like a whole army, but you get the sense that, like, and you got the sense out in the city that you also saw troops out there, like, for some reason, as kind of cloistered as this city is, they seem very suddenly open to these outside forces and people being here. And even as you all were coming into the city, people just kind of assumed that you were here for whatever big to-do is going on. And it seems like it's centered here in the central complex. You eventually, kind of walking through this largish courtyard, come up to the main building of the complex. And walking in, you see these high ceilings, some of them 100 feet high, with these glowing globes, some larger, some smaller, floating in air, lighting this place up as different dignitaries and servants are kind of running and scrambling back and forth. It seems very busy. Herful stops you at one point outside a side door and says, "Wait here for a moment." And he kind of slips through and you hear voices from inside, but he closes the door.
And I'll take this minute to turn to y'all and say, how interested are we in really how interested are we in saving him? Do we want to have to take on what sounds like another side quest?
I mean,
You don't have to feel guilty if you don't, honestly.
You're not there. You can't talk to us.
Yeah.
You don't know that this is a side quest.
yeah,
I'm guessing, because we get a side quest every time we turn
I
around.
mean, I'll put, we'll throw down a little bit of effort. I don't want to try to break him out of,
No, that would be...
but
Yeah.
at least not by force, but if,
It doesn't seem like it's gonna come to that.
Yeah.
We can put minimum effort.
we are willing to expend minimal effort.
I
Because
expect nothing less.
It's like, can he go?
Because it's
No?
like-
Alright.
Nope, we
Like-
tried, guys.
a main reason
Please?
that we accepted him into our group was we thought it would be mutually beneficial, like strength
Work
and
towards the same goals.
Yeah.
I
or
do
parallel
like the fact
goals.
that he has healing potions, and yes, I would be dead probably if it was not for him. I do not like the fact that he put my family's, what was the Minotaur's name again?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, I do not like the fact that he put my family's guard under an oath to him.
That is going to write that
power.
down on the agenda for the intervention.
The intervention,
We're gonna have
yeah.
as one of the bullet points.
These are the ways that your decisions have affected us.
But he did bring, I think it was both of us back to life, or was it me and Lysander?
I will put that.
I did get revivified.
Yeah.
It's true.
You'd be getting spun into a web.
You were technically dead.
Yeah. So we do owe him our lives, except for you.
And I did help kill a dragon,
You did.
Yes, but that was for your own ulterior motives.
but it aligned.
Right. So
Noted.
You're neutral chaotic.
So I'm not. I haven't done a whole lot of like crime things. I'm not used to this whole scene. I imagine.
Never did it.
Always be breaking
Well,
rules.
no, crime stuff. But Chomsky is gonna be like the squarest nerd when it comes to like all of this like secret underground. Like he's never been cool enough to to be one of these guys. So he's all excited about just like
Yeah.
So our
Well, do the armies outside were they armed, or did they have to check their arms at the gate when they
I
came
mean,
in?
some of them were
Well,
the
what are
ones.
you planning?
I think if we were the only one with arms and they didn't, I would still think it was a bad idea to try to start a fight.
Oh no!
But no, if they have arms and there are armies out
No.
there, no.
I mean, there's a lot of.
Okay,
there's a lot of weapons.
Physical
let's
force
huddle.
is not going to work.
Let's huddle. We're going to be diplomatic in this, right? Is everybody on board?
I mean, it depends on what.
Diplomacy?
Doesn't Roland have a friend who's going to be
Yeah,
like
it's
doing
kinda,
something, but I don't know what.
But let me explain something to you, Crom. There is no such thing as a friend in my world. There are friends, but
but
Friend.
Roland.
he's
I
not
thought I was
helping
your
us.
friend.
You are my friend. But in the world that we are now moving in, where I move, we don't really have friends.
Oh, that's so cool.
We have, euphemistically, we have friends. But friends always come with a price.
Okay. Well, we'll be aware of our environment as we go in. We won't
You won't
be
blurt out.
trusting. No, I'll be fine.
As you're discussing this, the door opens again. Purple walks out, followed by a figure of shorter stature. At first obscured from you, but as he kind of clears out of the way, you see, well, first you hear a voice say, "Oh, for fuck's sake, didn't we leave you all in a alternate dimension or something like that?" And you see a plate-mailed halfling woman.
Oh, I knew it was going to be sort of frostbite.
Fire braid frost.
No, that's
no.
this
This
is
the other one.
this
I
is
don't remember
that
the
you recognize
Oh, yeah.
She caught you
as-
breaking in.
as named
Hunting
Kima,
early.
Yeah.
who was the companion of one of the archmages
Yes, the
that had
Archmage.
Oh.
which
found
he-
you
yeah.
in Sigil.
One
after-
Rowan.
Yeah.
One Roland tried to hit on and tried to antagonize this little halfling on purpose.
And she especially looks at you as she says that, and she said, I didn't realize this is who you're, I mean, they're useful looking around at you. They're useful, I suppose. Do any of you know anything about the Iron Authority?
We know.
Maybe know somebody
the-
that knows somebody. The guy that's in your dungeon or wherever he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't live here. This is,
Oh.
I'm
In their
here for the
dungeon.
there's a meeting happening. It's actually going on. She looks at her
Yeah.
wrist,
Aren't
even
there
though there's no watch.
hobgoblins here too? Didn't we see some of the Iron Authority
I mean, you've seen
armies here?
hobgoblins. You haven't seen any Iron Authority armies here.
Okay.
We may have an inn, but we need help getting this
Crom?
person out of trouble.
Crom?
Oops. I
You
cover
have
my
an inn?
mouth.
Somebody's in trouble. I mean, at least it's not all of you this time, I guess. You haven't stolen
I've been
anything,
good.
have you?
Uh-uh.
You haven't killed anybody, have you?
Not that we know of.
Mm-mm.
That's still left in the air. There
Um,
were some pretty serious wounds.
I totally got that
might
statue
say-
bebopping.
the only
Okay.
the only
Yes, you did, Lysander.
I don't recognize this one. In any case,
well he
or this
came
one, for that
from
matter.
Yeah.
Well, you're not, you're not,
Yeah,
I'm not here.
You're not there.
Everybody from
It's
Sigil
just
knows
the-
everybody from Sigil.
You
Yeah.
will not see me.
we found him in Sigil. He came with us. He's quite a good
Oh,
bird.
you smell different. Okay.
Spell different. I probably do spell different.
The
Everybody
only
else stinks.
the only person in our party who knows anything about the Iron Authority is not able to communicate his knowledge right now to you.
Because he's in trouble. Her eyes kind of look at the Crom. All right.
Not
Well,
saying anything.
let's follow me. And she kind of stomps off in her plate mail. She has this broadsword across her back that's almost as tall as she is. And are you all following her?
Yeah.
Okay. She goes up to one of the Luxodon guards, says something real quick as you're kind of catching up, and he comes with y'all as you're following her. Eventually, she kind of weaving around in a different area of the complex comes around to kind of the backside where there's these lower buildings within the outer kind of defensive wall here, and I mean, it looks like it looks like some temporary holding cells. Most of them open to the elements, and in one of them, you see a familiar very pale dwarf. Who's just kind of sitting back, looks totally nonchalant, just kind of looking around with like still more than a dozen Loxodon guards just ranged about this cage, all of them with their halberds out, just like pointed at the cage. And as Kima kind of whispers to the guard again, she says, "Okay, they tell me this is who you're probably talking about. This is the only dwarf they brought in today."
I don't think we ever said our companion was a dwarf. Or did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clear out of the way, and some of them kind of looking at each other, kind of allow you all through. Kima comes up to the bars, kind of looks.
He bites.
Because you're sitting there standing. What do you think?
I'm probably just sitting in with my back's to the bar.
Yeah. Okay. Just kind of comes.
Just waiting.
Comes down, kind of hands on knees, kind of squatting down a little bit, and says, "They tell me you know something about the Iron Authority."
That depends. What do you need to know?
Well, it could get you out of these bars, and maybe.
Well, why didn't you say so? That's the whole reason I started the fight in the first place.
What?
Yeah, he belongs with all of you.
Oh,
I never said I'd tell the truth.
How do you know the Iron Authority? This is, and there's a time limit on this, because if you
Did
do
they
know
take my
something,
armor?
we need to get to a meeting.
Did they take my armor or not?
Your armor is still on. They took your weaponry.
So I just tell her, just hold on a second, and I like undo the straps on my breastplate. And does this answer your question?
Her eyes kind of just widen for a second, and she's like,
you've got 6 nipples.
Yes.
"Exactly." He's like,
I
a
have
cat.
teats.
You can milk him. In any case, immediately her eyes kind of just widen for a second, and then she gets kind of a frown and squints her eyes at you, and she looks over to the guard and says, "Unlock it. You're coming with me. All of you are coming," and she points at every one of you, "are coming with me."
And I'm gonna drop back the tiniest little bit. Not that we're gonna get a lot of privacy, but I'm gonna mutter to Chomp. Did you recognize the symbol on his chest?
Did we see the symbol?
Well, I'm guessing we're standing behind her.
Yeah, you saw the symbol. Make a religion check.
Because I don't want to appear like I have no earthly idea what it is. But,
I mean, you
know,
can
I
make
need
a
to
religion
find
check
out.
too. I mean, either of you can make a religion check if you'd like.
But, I don't want to be caught off guard, but
14.
let me find my D20. It's hiding.
I mean, it's not like this is esoteric.
It is a very, very common.
17.
You both recognize it.
Uh-huh.
You recognize this as the symbol of the Stripe Emperor Bane, one of the 6 betrayer gods. Specifically, he is the god of conquest and tyranny.
Okay, so
Or, as his supporters would say, just good order.
I'm going to look at you, and I'm going to, raise
Yeah,
it.
I did recognize it.
Same here, and I'm going to try to, silently,
me.
as much as I can without speaking, say something along the lines of, we're fucked.
What?
Because we have a betrayer god.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
You also know that Bane is the sole deity of the Hobgoblin Empire of the Iron Authority.
Well, I mean,
We can't really talk too much because we're surrounded by
You
guards.
can, I mean, there's
Okay.
there's
They're probably
only
not.
one guard still
They
with you.
probably already know this.
And-
though.
I mean, I don't think that's
Y'all
like.
know it.
They seem to be pretty accepting of all kinds around here. Like,
No, that's
I was
not.
just up in the Temple District, and there was like betrayer god,
That's-
little shrines everywhere.
That's not what I
Really
mean.
start
His
causing problems. And
yeah.
Maybe some restrictions.
What I'm concerned about is we have taken in our party to save the world
Mhm.
somebody who is against our mission.
Not necessarily.
Eh,
You want to destroy the world?
Or you want to bring back the gods that were banished?
Are you actually asking me that?
No,
No.
No, we're
It's
just.
the Empire was right situation.
Yeah.
I'm building the third Death Star.
Yeah.
I'm building the third Death Star.
So basically, he's been, I
Almost
think,
sounds
been
all
using
over
us to
the
further
place.
his own aims.
There's poor
And-
contractors.
They knew what they were getting into.
They knew what they were getting into.
I mean,
These are really good rolls.
Thank you.
They're
I
really
mean,
good.
Mark.
We're gonna build a government building in wartime.
It's what. Hey, I do have
They're
best.
just painting a
That is
target on
possible.
That's
because-
skill?
No,
themselves.
I've
They're
got
just painting a target on
Vesta
themselves.
spatula, and you know, that might up my cooking skills. Having goddess with helping me with my cookies.
It's true.
anyway, you know, we always knew that we should keep him at, or like, I think we knew from the beginning that we were working together temporarily as a matter of like mutual benefit.
But I'm afraid his wish for an ending may not be ours.
What do we want, though?
Well, I mean, we've sort of been on this quest for a while now to save the
Money.
world, and
And freedom.
yeah.
Freedom's overrated.
You can't hear us though, can you?
I mean,
We're
you are all in one group. You're walking through, following
But I'm
Kima.
thinking we're trying, like, we're probably dropped back and he's in
I mean, even if I hear it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so
I mean, yeah.
if freedom's overrated, then so sorry.
Go back to that cell.
Yeah, sorry.
Boom.
We-
Lawyer.
Enjoy order.
Sorry, freedom of the masses is overrated.
As long as it does not affect my freedom.
Hey, I was perfectly fine.
It'll be high up in the hierarchy. Get all the money and benefits.
So yeah, I mean, we just got to make sure that he doesn't end up doing something that destroys the world.
Well, I mean, it would really suck if we like had to go through all this shit and he brings the bad gods back. I mean, it's not like I'm really into religion,
Gods.
you know, but
Like I care about any other than one.
what if he just subverts everything we've done for the last few months? Or last while? What if he makes all this hard work we've done
You're
be
right. Let's kill him.
purposeless? Yeah.
As you are all having this conversation, you're being brought through several different passages and through doors and down some stairs and to a different passage. Eventually, back towards the center of this central complex. And Kima eventually comes to these huge double doors that are currently closed at the top of this short stairway. As you're all having this conversation, she kind of cuts you off and says, "Shh. They're about to start session again. We're going to go in. Should you have any information, depending on what they're talking about, just listen first, please. They'll give you a chance to talk. You should." She kind of looks up to the side and says, "But let's go find Alora." And she kind of, this large door kind of cracks it open a couple feet, and you all kind of
Damn, she's a
slide
strong
in.
halfling.
I mean, she is like she's built. She's small
Brick
but
house.
strong. Like I said, she has this broadsword in her back that's like as big as she is, and she looks like she could use it. Yeah, inside you see maybe a little bit more than 100 people in different clumps, all kind of some talking, some whispering to each other in different places. Some of whom, it's like just looking around, you see some familiar faces. You see, I mean, immediately off to one side, Kima waves, and you look where she's waving, and you see Alora Vysuran, one of the archmages who had tracked you down in Sigil. And it also, you had run into while you were on your escapade trying to get through the Spire of Uruk. While one of you, I think Chomp, was in disguise as Usu at the time. Yeah.
Yep.
That happened.
Yeah.
But she kind of
Good job.
She kind of frowns and kind of half waves back at you and looks at Kima and kind of does. You also see, over to one side, standing alone, back against a pillar, thick arms crossed in front of her, General Frostbraid.
Oh, yeah.
With, of course, her bright white streak going through the middle of her hair and into her braid. You also see a young man talking to a white-haired elf in green robes. The young man is Gren Taldore,
Figured he'd be there, yeah.
the speaker of the Taldore Council, who you had kind of helped get back into good graces in your time in Amon. So there's people from all over the place here, it seems. And those are just the first. Those are just a few that you would see right away.
But the really important question is,
Yes.
how are the acoustics of this?
I mean, strangely, it's not especially echoey. There's something about the vaulted, and the ceiling, the vaulted ceiling in here goes up like more than 100 feet to a fairly steep peak, with these ribs kind of on the inside, made of, and everything seems to be once again of that same purple stone. The light in here is a little bit dimmer than other places. Some of the glowing kind of slowly floating, dipping and bobbing balls are kind of just moving around the room, giving a little bit of a light to it. But Kima just brings you over to Allura, and she looks at all of you and says, "Well, don't all of you look rough. Yeah, I mean, is that some kind of slime or ooze on you?" And she looks at Gundar and it's just kind of on your armor. I'm not sure what that is. In any case, who are your friends? I'm looking at the three of you.
She knows us.
I'm not.
She knows the three of you.
Oh, okay.
She's asking
yeah,
about these
sorry.
two.
Yeah. That is Lysandra. And friend, I have problems with that word.
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of friends. I'm asking
Yes.
who this is.
That is Gundar.
Just curious, have people heard of me yet? As words.
I mean, upon her saying Lysander, you do see over to the side somebody kind of, what? Just one person. But somebody. Okay, so Gundar, Lysander. Kima kind of comes up and whispers in Allura's ear real quick, and she kind of, her eyes immediately dart over to Gundar, like, I see. Interesting. In any case.
By the way, did she just recognize the symbol, or does she recognize what the annotation behind the symbol?
You'd know that she recognized the symbol, like Kima recognized the symbol. I would say make a insight check to see if you can tell if she knows the connotation behind the symbol. Because that is a good point. There are levels here. In the meantime, Allura's eyes for a second still locked on Gundar, but then looking over to the rest of you, I assume by now you know this is the city of Nerdlepuck, the last city of the Quintnera Tetrarchy, which until recently most of us thought was still a myth. But there's some crazy things going on, and so we are trying to figure that we are all here trying to figure out what to do. What do you got? 16. You get the sense that Kima knew something was up, like more than just the symbol.
Okay.
You're not sure how far she knew, but a little bit.
Gotcha.
In any case, a lot has been going on, so to catch you up on it, there was a snap election in Amon, so the Taldore Council has changed. I'm Master of Arcana now.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But this council here has been called between Singor and Taldore and the Tetrarchy to address some goings on in the world, the odd movements of the army of the Iron Authority, and her eyes kind of dart over to you, as well as the cult we had spoke of before, that seemed to, many citizens have disappeared from towns and cities across Exandria, sometimes just one at a time, sometimes in groups. But many people have gone missing. We don't know where they are. Yes, we're here to try to figure all of this out. And then, of course, those shipments, the stolen magical items, slaves by being captured from all over Exandria and being shipped at a rate that we've never seen before to the Iron Authority. We don't know why. And she's talking about this. This also seems odd to you, like, because you know slavery exists in the Iron Authority, but you've never heard of, like, that many at once being brought in.
Like, that's too much. That's more than an okay amount.
We're past the acceptable margins.
Yep, past the acceptable margins. And she starts pointing out some people in the room. She's like, well, you know General Frostbraid. She was voted out as Master of Defense. Of course, she's still commander of the armies, just she doesn't have the final say anymore. That would be Guardian Broteras, and she points to a tall dragonborn, silver dragonborn with their right arm missing. Yes. He is the new Master of Defense. Of course, then there's Gran Taldore, still heading up the council, points over to Gran.
Are you gonna wave to him too?
The ancient looking elf he's talking to, and you see the oldest elf you have ever seen, is actually Uric Windkeeper. The
Of the spires?
Yes, they are his spires. He founded the Arcana Pansophical maybe 1,500 years ago. Yes, but he has like this thin white hair and a very simple green robe. Of course, she points to a bald-looking, human-looking woman with these high cheekbones, except for that there seems to be silver scales that come down the back of her neck and on the sides of her head a bit. And Laura says, that's High Curator of the Cobalt Reserve, Griselda Cassius. Pretty much the head librarian of librarians. Also fairly dangerous, please don't. And you see, like, yeah, very dangerous. Like they're known as like they're librarian monks. There. And of course, Verdant Lord Killandar, leader of the Verdant Guard, and she points to a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very statuesque looking high elf with dark hair pulled back into a ponytail and with this green light armor on, who's talking to somebody else. At this point, though, a Black Panther tabaxi walks up onto a small dais at the front of this room. Yes. With a good amount of gray at different parts of his fur. Steps up onto the steps and the room starts to quiet. If you'd like to ask any questions before the room actually quiets, now is the time.
I would say let's move away from Gundar some and just like form our own little.
Why? Well, so
Because I want to talk about something with y'all.
This council meeting, they gathered all here to just discuss all of those things.
Yeah,
And-
the odd things with the Iron Authority, the cult.
And maybe these are all connected. Let's
Yeah,
get
and
everybody
maybe we
from all
have
over.
some knowledge that they could use. Like,
Oh, I definitely got some knowledge.
and
Yeah.
no, we didn't include you in the subtle.
Well, and like we already assumed, or we had already discussed that the whole reason why he was
Yeah. So.
coming was.
I've already wandered off anyway.
Oh, good.
I'm just
All
like
right.
sitting in the middle of the room.
As you try to wander off, immediately Kima just grabs onto like a belt loop and is like, just stay here.
I mean, we have knowledge that they need,
Yeah,
She is surprisingly strong.
It
and
could be helpful.
we could be helpful.
We were like
See,
way down south. And
I see some options.
areas.
Yeah, we saw the Yellow King. We've seen places disappearing.
We fought him one time.
We fought him.
Let's tell
We
them that.
have seen what he did in that village where they all fought each other to death every night. Which he
Are
apparently.
we telling them that?
No, I'm discussing
Well,
with
these
y'all.
are things we could potentially
can't-
tell them.
yeah.
Can't we just tell them?
No, we
Well,
can
we
get
will get a
leverage.
chance to talk.
As
We
the
can't
room
just-
is quieting down more and more, Alora kind of whispers over to like, comes down and whispers to all of you, kind of bending down a little bit. Chanchu, the Tetrarch of Nilbach. And she points to the Black Panther, Tabaxi.
Before he starts talking, I'm just thinking that we don't want to just tell them out of the goodness of our hearts. We might want to see what we can leverage out of our information.
I mean, these are leaders from like the 3 major like countries.
Kind of. The Tetrarchy
City
isn't well
states.
known.
Yeah.
It's this. Yeah, the Tetrarchy is a city-state that was basically mythical until very recently, and has only started to come into contact with these other places.
I think everybody is here to
For the greater
for the
good.
gr- like
Yeah.
you don't go to the UN to try to like barter information out of the UN. I think we can just safely assume that we can safely assume that all 3 of these nation-state countries would help us in ways if we needed
Yes.
to, get across
But-
the border and do
Yeah,
anything
I think
there.
so, but I think we'd be short-sighted to maybe give all our information at once for free.
There is a time limit on this at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're saying that with the last word "free," the whole room is quieted down, and everybody kind of looks at you because you're the last one talking.
Free bird, play free bird.
The Tabaxi kind of frowns a little bit, but then says, "You have all been summoned here today to discuss grave matters that have come to light as of late. We here in the Tetrarchy have long kept the rest of the world at arm's length, not wanting to become involved in such conflicts or the machinations of others. That has served us well. However, circumstances are changing, and a change in stance may be warranted. I will let the council speaker elaborate." And he gestures to his left, and Gren Taldori steps up. He's a lot like you remember him, except for that he's not wearing the resistant fighter kind of clothing. Instead he's in kind of well-cut blue silk shirt and some brown trousers. His blonde hair is pulled back into a ponytail, and he says, "As many of you are aware, 1 month ago now, the Imperial Army of the Iron Authority broke off its month-long siege of Iman after a daring raid on the Alabaster Lyceum. Casualties on both sides were heavy, and parts of the city near the northeastern gates were burned. Hobgoblin forces then made a swift retreat south through Elven lands, and as of last week, scouts report that they have managed to return all the way to Disarm, capital of the Empire. At the same time, cultists of unknown provenance in dozens of cities and towns across the continent of Taldori and reportedly beyond first rioted and then began journeying west, apparently to a rumored island in the Osmith Sea. 2 weeks ago, a large arcane blast was detected in that general vicinity. These occurrences may seem easily explained by simple coincidence, however, we have reason to believe that they are connected, and in a way that may threaten the continued existence of our way of life here in Exandria altogether." And at this, there's kind of a low murmur throughout the crowd. Some whispering that and people begin to shift kind of nervously. And Gren says, "First, the raid on the Lyceum. Councillor Vysoren and Alora, right next to you, kind of straightens up a bit, gestures for you to stay put, and she steps out into the open space that's kind of open in the middle of everybody here. And she says, on the 27th day of Mythisar, in this year, the 23rd year since the refounding of the Taldori Republic, during what was later discovered to be a feint attack on the northeastern portion of the city of Iman, a team of goblin arcanists teleported into the Alabaster Lyceum in the erudite quarter of the city. They fought their way through light resistance and accessed a long-term storage room, which we thought had been a well-kept secret." And she pauses, and she's kind of clasping her hands together, and she looks down at them, and you can see she's like, kind of, like nervously unclasping and clasping them. "This is the sensitive part, and we never expected to have to reveal this information. But in fact, only a few people alive at one time ever knew this. But," and she looks back up, "one of the items stolen was a small stone figurine. It is a focal point for one of the 5 locks on the chains of the Oblivion. And the room just goes dead silent for a second. And then just shouting starts to erupt of people asking questions, like, on one side, the stately-looking halfling says, "Whose fault is this?" And the most well-dressed Goliath you've ever seen, like, just like, "How is this possible?" And an older woman, a human woman to one side, is like, "Why weren't we told?" And it takes a full minute for the crowd to finally quiet down. Alora just kind of waiting patiently and then just kind of looking down at the floor. And eventually she raises her hands and kind of everybody quiets down a little bit. She says, "The locations of 2 of the other 4 points are currently known and protected." And at this point her eyes dart quickly to you, Crumb. And then away. But even breaking 1 might enable the Chained Oblivion's release. We just don't know, but this is a chance we cannot take. And because of this, the Tal'Dorei Council, along with the Arcana Pontifical, recommends the immediate deployment of a joint task force to recapture and secure the stolen item. And she steps back, her face is red, and she gives you kind of a quick, tight smile. It's like, because you do remember what was told you a while back about your
I do.
great sword.
Definitely do. Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
I do, yeah. Do remember that.
Lord Kalendar, the commander of the Verdant Guard, steps forward now. "You want us to commit troops to an attack on the Iron Authority and risk an act of all-out war? I understand the import of what has happened, and certainly had our soldiers been fighting while the hobgoblins were moving through our territory. But the kind of war that a move like this would precipitate, it would cover the entire continent, maybe the world. The risk here is extreme, and it seems to me..." And then Topher Bratoris, the silver dragonborn with the 1 arm, speaks up at this point and says, "Coward! Our city was nearly destroyed already. And in this conflict, bleh. And much more may be at stake here. With their forces seriously weakened after trying to take him on, this is the exact time to strike. Not only because of the danger posed by an unchaining of the Oblivion, we could permanently end the threat and depredations of the Iron Authority once and for all." Once again, there's kind of a shouting match that goes back and forth through the room.
So I'm probably getting visibly more and more angry right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people are just worried. Like, there's this nicely dressed half-elven woman in this clothing marked with a white tree who yells, "And who's going to pay for this?" And that's fairly near to you. But eventually, Uric Windkeeper steps up onto the platform, kind of. He's got this white, wispy hair that every time he takes a step, it all seems to shift. It's so light. But as he kind of stands up there and kind of just patiently waits, people are just kind of, their eyes start to go to him, and it finally quiets down again. He says, "This may be the most serious chain of events we've experienced since the Divergence. Tharizdun is not like other gods. Some believe it is another type of being entirely apart from them. In fact, its prison is totally separate from the Divine Gate, which keeps other deities out of the material plane. Whether or not the Iron Authority means to free it, danger here is very, very real. But before we launch into any kind of action, there should be a discussion as to the why and how. Why would the Hobgoblins try such a thing? They don't follow the Oblivion.
Why?
They worship Bane.
And I'm going to turn around and look at him.
And what is the cult in all of this? We had determined that they did not worship Tharizdun, but some other entity, some yellow king. And so who are they? We need answers before proceeding." And the room kind of goes silent.
So I'm probably going to speak up.
Something
Yeah, I mean, it goes silent, and everybody's just kind of looking around at each other.
So I'm probably going to start off by like slapping the little
The
halfling away.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go to wherever the center is.
Yeah, and like everybody's kind of circled around a couple deep, but it's easy enough to just kind of step out into the open space.
So I guess I'm going to talk specifically to whoever was just talking.
Okay, that's Uric Windkeeper. Yeah.
What do I?
You can paraphrase if you want. It's up to you.
So I guess I'll start off by talking about, you want to call out an all-out war against the Iron Authority, and none of you have even the slightest clue of what's really going on.
Well, tell us.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Who are you in the first place?
Who is this guy?
Educate smart pants.
So there's kind of an unsteady, kind of shuffling about, and it's a little bit of murmuring as you start talking. Yeah.
So I'll take my breastplate off again, and I'll whatever my tunic as well.
Yeah.
And
that's
I'll-
bare-chested in front of them.
and I'll tell them because I'm the Lord Hand of the Iron Authority, and I'm like, that would be like 6th, 5th, 6th.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's fairly close to the top.
Yeah.
And immediately you see Frostbraid and Kellandar and Broturus's hands immediately go to their weapons. They don't draw, but just instinctually. And there's several gasps around the room.
And as much as I'd hate to even admit this, what the hobgoblins are doing right now is not their own choice. Because this cult that you say is becoming a problem has pretty much rooted itself in the Iron Authority.
Uruk, Windkeeper, is just nodding. But Gren Taldore looks over at you, this kind of concerned look on his face, and says, well, how did something like this happen?
Because our leadership is weak.
What? There's some mumbling around. So then, do you know who this Yellow King is?
I think we do. I can't remember what his name was.
I don't know that guy.
It was the guy that was in the little...
No, I meant you.
I mean,
We're all
No, I'm talking
studying
as
from
a...
you.
Yes, yes.
not characters, I'm saying.
I mean, you could totally, as a character, just turn to your companions
Yeah.
and just gesture for them to come out and explain with you.
They probably don't want to.
Asatar?
You could put them on the spot.
Whatever the guy's name was that was in the little... wanting us to release him,
Yeah.
I tell him that, as far as I know, that's who it is.
You tell them about Asatar, Taiwan.
Mm-hmm. And say that we know who
You almost killed her.
Yeah.
we have fought him.
And we have survived.
Barely.
And then I'm going to look at you and go, I don't think we're powerful.
I think they should know that he's very powerful.
Yes.
And he puppets people. That's all I'm gonna say.
The High Curator of the Cobalt Reserve, Griselda Cassios, kind of steps forward. Like I said, she's totally bald on top, but has the odd silver scales going back down. And she says, yes, we had a request from the Spires of Uruk as to the nature of the name Esther Kaiwan a while back, and we could not find anything in our records. But
We will be glad to tell you what we know.
please, but what is...
We pretty much just did.
Yeah, but
Oh, but we know
we know he's trapped.
that he was also, was he telling us the truth about that? He was
Oh, well,
part of the magic spell that chained the Oblivion, or...
I feel like
Yeah, I remember
things have
he
escalated since
He
then.
claimed that we're basically it wasn't his fault that we needed to bring him back to this plane because he
Well,
was
what-
misunderstood.
What last happened though? Because I feel like things may have changed.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that's what he
Since we
told us
first
when we
met
were
him.
fighting the dragon and he popped up.
But when he was puppeting those people, he said me to us. And basically, I have more important things to do, and he looked off somewhere
Yeah.
and told us to go back to those people. So what was he doing?
Well,
He was...
I'm just trying to remember. It's been a while.
You mean like
Yeah,
when...
well.
I mean, he was...
he mentioned a couple things, but then you've also had a dream since then
Mm.
that was connected. A dream of, let me see if I can remember it. You were back in the well,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It got,
Oh
like,
yeah.
and
Oh
some-
yeah.
something was trying to kill
Oh,
the Knowing
this
Mistress
guy. Yeah.
and the Dawnfather and the Chained Oblivion.
Yeah. This guy's real bad. He is gonna try to kill everything.
The same Tabaxi, who's still kind of standing on near the top of the steps, looks at all of you and says, "Well, it seems you know more than many of us." Looking directly at Gundar, I'm guessing it's in the process of putting on unless you're just standing there. I know that's up to you. But looks directly at you and says, "It seems you know the ins and outs of the authority. What would you do? If armies aren't going to do it?"
Open your gates to whoever's not under the power of this cultist. Figure out how many people, how many hobgoblins and allies are still in the city that are still of their own mind, and launch a full assault. I can tell you where the weak points are and where the strong points are, and as much as I'd hate to ask for help, I want my city back as much as anybody else. And we've fought this guy before, and if he has even a fraction of the population of the Iron Authority under his control, then he's too powerful for any one of us to take on.
He just kind of nods, looks around at some of the other high-ranking officials here, and you could possibly... Would you be willing to seek out these individuals or groups that were still loyal?
I think that's what we were heading to the Iron Authority to kind of figure out anyway, so yeah. I think because that was our original plan, was to go to the Iron Authority and figure out how bad the cult problem had become.
Yeah.
Because the last time I was there,
Yeah.
it was
getting
starting to take hold and it was getting bad, and then it's been weeks since then,
It's been
so...
weeks, yeah.
So...
Uric Windkeeper, who seems in some ways to be the most respected of the people here, steps forward once again and says, "Let us, some of the leaders of the groups gathered here, get together. We may have a request of the lot of you."
I told you I'd get out of it.
Let's adjourn for the next half hour. And with that, kind of conversations spring up in different places, and several, like General Frostbraid and Keeper Urek and High Curator Griselda Cassios and even Alora kind of looks at you and says, "What, maybe wait here," and they kind of form a small group up on the steps of the room, and
They're gonna execute me, guys.
I'm going to turn to you because I have questions for you.
I put my armor back on.
yeah, they kind of leave you in your own group. Everybody else around is kind of giving you the side eye, and nobody's kind of joining your group. Hima's still with you.
How did you end up in that prison cell in the spires of Uric? How did you end up there? Where we met you?
Oh yeah. How did you end up? Oh, you had been fighting.
Yeah.
So
Wrong place at the wrong time.
this was not a ploy to get in with us.
I didn't even know you until you showed up there. I had it all under control anyway.
Oh yeah, you were behind a cell.
I've been in lots of cells, and I've gotten out every time. Exhibit A.
You would not have gone out without us.
I mean, you can't argue with
True.
No, I didn't know any of you until hadn't the faintest idea of what was going on.
Just so I know that it was not Deus Ex Machina here.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, I
This
could be
was
lying
planned.
to you. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was gonna go do that. But
Can we all like roll a perception or whatever check on
insight
that?
check?
Yeah, insight check on that one.
on what exactly? That he
Whether I'm telling the truth or
he
not.
didn't
Yeah.
that he didn't seek you out in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably insight.
Rude. Not taking me at my word.
I know.
Oh please.
Hey, I've never. Well,
Yeah, don't even.
plus insight. Oh hell, he's the wrong person to do a wisdom check, please, people. 9.
9. Yeah, I mean, he seems to be telling the truth.
I have this horrible feeling that he could sell land to roll in, beachfront property in Tennessee to roll in with a wisdom roll like that.
Probably.
Well, okay, so we just need to be on the same page moving forward.
Yeah.
You gotta talk to us if we're gonna be in the party together.
you want me to talk?
This is an intervention. You don't talk till the end. We all get to talk about you first.
Okay.
That's how I seen it.
Chomp brings out a banner that says intervention.
I pull out a stool and I just sit down like.
And I go through the things that he did that made us upset, and the nice things that he did.
What was the nice thing?
Saving your
He
life.
saved
Yeah, he saved our
lives.
lives.
Did pick the fight
There's
that
what,
caused
like
deaths.
3 or 4 people that actually have
It's
owe me a
balancing
life debt.
thing, so it neutral.
Yeah.
He took responsibility for it.
Wait, what'd I do?
When you say that, you did start the fight that almost killed them, but then you did save them.
But did he save?
You-
Why did he save us? I mean, was it because he
Yeah.
wanted something from us?
Ask him.
Yeah.
Ask him.
What was your motive in saving us?
I believe in favors. You owe me.
Oh, that is a bad attitude.
You wanted the truth.
Hmm.
I ain't got no reason to lie about it. You saw me do it with your family guard.
Yes. And
I may never come to collect on the debt, but understand that there's a debt.
so, altruism is not in your nature.
No.
You can't be in our group. You're fired. Can't believe homies help homies, and if you're not part of our group, then
Ouch. But I mean, I never made any qualms about my character is not good. Like, I'm not neutral.
but we can still have the same goal, but have different reasons for it.
I mean,
I don't think we have the same goal is the problem. The end result's what he
I
wants.
think we do because
We want
they're
to
taking
stop-
over my city.
We want to
Yeah.
stop the
Yeah.
Yellow King.
Yeah, and
from-
that's like the immediate goal, but the long-term goal.
You have the wrong reasons
I mean,
for it. or
without
whatever,
doing
but
that, there is no long term.
True.
I just need to know you're not gonna go.
I mean, I'm not going to stab you in the back and kill you.
Or if we have a family member or a friend that you have a disagreement with, you can't stab them either.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rule.
Since when have I ever stabbed anybody close to you? When have
That-
I ever
That's
attacked?
never gonna happen with me because you just wouldn't. But you were mean to Roland somebody.
Because they put a knife to my throat.
Well, no, you
Well, I don't know.
no, because remember you saved the Minotaur when he was bleeding out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was,
then I went to have a private conversation with him, and you put a knife to my throat.
Oh,
well.
Yeah, you didn't know about that,
I
huh?
think I was doing something.
How about
else.
an intervention for Roland?
That was at the.
Yeah. Ask them what happened when they put a knife
Roland,
to my
you're
throat.
Also-
next on the intervention list.
But also, you're not talking about things that have happened. You were trying to set up, like, moving forward.
Moving forward, yes.
These are
Thank you.
how
Thank
we
you.
want
Yes,
to
thank you.
proceed.
Thank you. Can we? Yes. Can we just focus on our shared goal and
I mean, I've been focused on the shared goal.
and not go off and desecrate things and cause issues.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not focused by causing issues. And
Hey.
hamstringing.
I had a plan, and I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't like this god, and it got me an audience with the people in charge.
You gotta
Potato,
include,
potato.
You gotta include us in your plans, though, if we're together.
And you
Because
know,
it affects
weren't.
us.
Nobody was around.
but you know, you probably
Don't involve
well,
me.
Roland would never say that. This is me speaking.
Yeah.
Lysander's tuning
Yeah.
his loot.
Roland would
What'd you
never.
say?
I'm too
Oh.
popular.
No,
I don't
you're
need.
like,
I don't need bad
Why didn't you just
publicity,
put your name
man.
on this for an audience?
That would have taken too long. This is of the essence. The quickest way to get an
Okay,
audience,
but I'm saying
get in trouble.
moving forward, now you know that's not cool with us. So are
I mean, you
are
did
you gonna
things I'm not cool with.
like what? Name one.
Like, you worship a good god. I worship a bad god.
I don't think I
It's a weird
do.
thing.
I
I
don't.
mean,
You're
you're
a bad guy.
tight with the god.
No.
Do
Yeah.
you worship them? I don't know.
I don't worship them.
Loose term.
I
Sorry.
respect their powerfulness.
I respect the powerfulness of mine, too.
Okay, so, but
I mean, y'all make deals with dragons. I don't like dragons.
so
I'm making it difficult, but yes.
Sean,
I am
you're up.
I'm perfectly fine. Like,
I'm letting you. You're just doing good.
Nope, I'm done. That is all Crom is capable of. That's a stretch for her anyway. As much talking as she did.
Well, I understand your ruthlessness. I just. Okay, well, actually, Roland would probably.
I mean, you're in an assassin's guild.
I know, that's what I'm just trying
You
to say.
can't come talking to me. You killed good people and bad people.
But at least mine is not personal. I just do it for
But-
money.
That's worse.
That
That's
makes
worse.
it better.
Oh.
No, it's. You have grudges. I work for the clear.
I mean,
conscience.
we all have
We agree to disagree.
we all have our issues and our good and bad qualities, but I haven't really lied to y'all about what I want to accomplish.
Can
I
we
want
have
to kill this cultist, and I'm willing to work together to kill the cultist.
Come huddle with
Question.
guys.
If we go to another town, are you gonna immediately make them not want us there?
I mean, it depends. Is it a town that worships Melora?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Can we
Is it a town that
huddle?
doesn't worship Melora? I don't care.
Is he in the huddle or
No.
no? All right.
No.
Hey, I didn't start any issues with the town of murder people. And that was right up my alley. Those were murder people. Purge Town.
So,
I didn't start it.
Oh, first down. I love it.
so you guys, we're just gonna have to. He's like in the party, but not in the party. Like maybe we stay at separate hotels. And
Well, we have to make him think that, like, you know, he's
Uh,
in the
I
party.
don't think we do though.
Well, I'm
I
just-
started to realize we don't. I don't think we do.
well,
He's gonna have his like, and then we're gonna have
Kind of like that halfling, the guard, the guide.
So if we
Yeah.
go to a town that worships Melora, he stays in the next town over.
we're loose associates. Like we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it's just gonna have to be. We can't be friends with him, guys.
So are we friends with him?
No.
No. Good. All right.
We're working toward a common goal.
So that means we have to.
We do.
Yeah. We have to share some,
Mhm.
like, our
Nope.
strategy, but not our thoughts.
We really don't though. I don't think.
Can I hear them at all?
Well, you realize
you're trying
Roland
to be
would never be
quiet.
having this
Make
conversation.
You're trying to
I
hear
don't think.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
Like, I mean, I have nothing other to do than just stare at y'all and be like,
yeah, go ahead.
what are you saying?
Make a
Crom's
perception
voice
check.
carries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kima is just sitting here, just kind of.
Perception. Freaking 0.
Just
19.
eats
Just
the
19.
We've been bottling this up for a while.
Let's see. What is that going to be rolling against? Y'all
What
are
is
trying
y'all's
to be quiet.
passive?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
I would say take an
Not
average of
sleight of hand,
something.
It's not stealth. It's. Everybody roll a d20.
and add your wisdom modifier.
Oh, I hate wisdom modifiers. Oh, okay. 18.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
3.
Chomps is over there yelling like, "What are we talking about, guys?"
What do you mean we don't like Gundar?
Okay, my phone finally started to work.
Good.
I'm
Plus-
sad, guys.
Plus my what?
Wisdom modifier.
Wisdom modifier.
Oh, 15.
Okay. Yeah, you catch most of it, like just as they're whispering.
I'm sad, guys.
I don't want to ask this question. I want you to ask it because he's gonna realize that coming from me, ask him if he would have saved us, if not for a favor. Would he have done it out of altruism?
I think we
Do you care
determined
about
no.
altruism? Like I know,
No, I don't care much about altruism.
I'm just
I
wondering.
care about his motives.
Okay.
I feel like we already asked him and he told us the truth.
I mean, I'll answer it another way.
Yeah,
I didn't I didn't resurrect you.
out of friendship.
No. I didn't resurrect me so you would owe me a favor. I resurrected you, therefore you owe me a favor. I didn't exclusively just save you so you would owe me a favor. But my viewpoint on it is that just the same way, if I get killed or die and one of y'all
Or
res me,
captured by a
I
bunch
would,
of Loxodons.
it would work both ways. I would owe you a favor.
So you owe us a favor now.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I got myself out of the cell.
Mm.
I'm the one. She asked me, do I know anything about the Iron Authority? And this thing on my chest got me out.
But see,
And that was my plan all along.
we paved the way. for her
When
to
did you
ask
get back
that.
in this conversation?
Hold on. We
Okay,
paved the
guys.
Because
way.
he could hear everything you're saying.
I mean, you didn't move that far away.
So he just walked back up and was like, "Hey."
But if it hadn't been for us,
All right. I'll go sit back down.
Guys, he's just gonna have to just be separate. And we just keep stuff from him. He's keeping stuff from us. We just work separate.
I don't. Is this like the United States? They're like together but separate.
To be fair, none of you ever asked.
I mean, that is true.
I think we.
Nobody ever explicitly asked. I haven't hit it.
Before we were asking some other things, and you seemed very closed off. And we have had a companion that was very closed off like that too, and we learned not to push things, so we just kind of let it go.
Well, you started asking me all kinds of questions when we barely knew each other. We've been through some battles now.
So he's like, I vote he's kind of like separate.
but he.
All right, then I vote y'all are separate. Meanies. Guess what? I don't have opposing votes.
Roland, what do you say?
It's unanimous on my end.
But like we're still like doing the same thing, but like we're separate.
I'll take my carriage and horses and I'll ride by myself.
I don't think they got down the waterfall.
We gotta go back up there sometime
Like
or later.
we'll be like, okay, we're not gonna ride in the same car to the movies. Okay, we'll be like, we'll meet you there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever movies are, I don't know.
While I.
Fantasy movies.
Well,
You
I
know.
understand.
To the play.
Well, I do understand him a bit. I don't like him.
Yeah,
I've never trusted him.
that happens sometimes in life.
Yeah, the knife to the throat kind of gave that away.
Although you could have killed me, and I will admit you didn't.
At this point, Kima, having heard all of this,
Oh dear, so sorry.
just kind of walks up
We
to
need
your huddle
couples
and is like,
counseling, please.
We need
seems-
couples therapy.
It seems to me that there are some issues going on here that maybe are better worked through at a different time. But also, it is. I mean, it is correct that you all have parallel goals. He did save you, it seems. I mean, and if I'm right about what's probably going to happen, going to have to travel together, so. Also, I didn't know that you're carrying one of the locks to the chained oblivion on your back, so that's good to know.
Wink.
I'm going to walk away. She just kind of backs away slowly, a hand
Good
out.
idea.
Were you with us in Siegel? I don't remember.
Mm-mm.
No,
I was in the Iron Authority.
Yeah,
Ah,
I was
alright.
in the Iron Authority at the time.
So,
Getting the reason for you all to be sent on this major mission. In any case, after this time has passed, as you've all been discussing this,
Just out of curiosity, what is your view on this, Lysander? Excuse me.
I'm here for material. So I'm kind of on the outskirts too.
Great, great. I just
great stuff.
All I ask is you change my name.
And be sure to mention my
Oh,
dashing
okay.
good looks.
The group at the
Dundar.
top, up on the dais seems to be breaking up a bit, and Yurk Windkeeper comes forward, raises hands a little bit. Everybody quiets down fairly quickly, and he says, "We think that your plan might work."
I was gonna say this shit.
But we will need you to bring us some assurances that there will be help coming from within, as well as maybe current scouting from inside. We can mobilize the majority of our forces and hopefully stealthily move them to near the capital. It seems that most Iron Authority sources, according to scout reports, have been withdrawn and decentralized, so I'm going to hope. However, this is going to mean that a team of you are going to need to get inside Sarm and find this information, open the gates, as it were.
We get to go see Daddy's helmet.
We can provide you with fairly swift transportation. At least
on a dragon?
close to the city. No, it seems that there are at least a few mid-range skyships available.
Okay.
Oh, skyships were fun.
Yeah.
Shaped like a dragon.
Please be aware, this is of the utmost importance, as I'm sure you know. If whoever this, or whatever, this King in Yellow, this Azatar Kaiwan, if they manage to, it seems like they want to, free the Oblivion, and maybe others try to destroy several deities, it could unbalance the entire, well, our entire universe, anyway. So this is important. Please.
What? Joking.
He just gives you a flat
Google.
look. He's got these bushy eyebrows. One of them just kind of goes. But yes, we will arrange for your passage, and we'll go from there.
We will need a few things before we go.
Oh, I'm sure we can provide what we can. Yes.
Can I need one request in return.
Yes.
I need a new suit of armor made, please.
A new suit armor. I mean, we might be able to.
See, it's a long story,
Mm-hmm.
but I lost my original armor that holds significance in the Iron Authority. So if you could craft me some black armor.
We'll see what we can do. We could probably see fit to.
It doesn't have to be magical.
Yeah.
It just needs to be dyed.
We can at least get you to something comparable to what you have.
I mean, I'll gladly trade what I have in return and some money.
I did that. I mean, you're going to need to I mean, this is, oh gosh, we have a lot to think about, but yes, you're going to need to infiltrate. I mean,
I don't plan on infiltrating. I'm gonna walk right through the front gate.
but you're going to need to look official, as you are official, but apparently it's complicated.
Yeah, so I need a black suit. I just need black plate mail with a red cloak.
All right.
And for the rest of us, we probably have some supplies we would like.
Of course, we can do that.
More bombs!
Magic spells.
Healing potions!
At this point, the larger meeting starts to break up into smaller circles of discussion,
We need
although
skooma.
Laura and the High Curator, Cassios, kind of gather you together with Kima. And looking around, Laura says, well, we're going to need to make all of you, actually, now you mention it, look like you belong there. How many of you know anything about the Iron Authority other than present company accepted, of course? We all know a little bit. You can do a history check if you want, but she's going to tell you anyway. So there is. It's a highly regimented society, and you're going to need to blend in a certain way. Most free folk in the Authority are hobgoblins or some type of goblinoid. Goblins, occasionally bugbear. Most other individuals of other races there are kept as work, as possessions, as slaves.
I was about to say slaves.
She seems uncomfortable talking about it. However, there are different levels, and there are some free slaves. We will be, not permanently, but temporarily marking your faces with 4 slashes under the right eye to denote that you are freed. This should allow you to have movement within, fairly free movement within the city.
While you're talking about that, I remember about my little medallions, and I hand them.
Oh yes,
These will help too.
He hands these medallions with the symbol of Bane on them to you. Okay.
So we don't need to disguise ourselves.
You still do.
Or,
You still do.
Oh, you still need to address the part, but you will at least be able to walk around freely. We don't have many connections within the city, but I'm assuming you will.
Mm-hmm. Though I have a feeling the leader doesn't. Probably doesn't really like me.
There's somebody I'd say that you have in mind that you could talk to.
Mm-hmm.
An old mentor, almost. Yeah, I'm gonna say, because I'm adding that to your backstory.
Yeah.
And he's in my notes. Okay. In the meantime, you all are kind of freed. You were told that you have
Excuse me?
what?
Sorry.
You
You
are-
said we were freed. I was like,
You are free to from the meeting anyway to walk around the city. You are told that you can get certain supplies around. They take a description of the armor from you, and basically they can craft the same armor that you. Because you have magical armor, right? No, you don't.
This is plain plate mail.
Yeah, so you can. Yeah, they
I mean, I'll gladly pay for any upgrades, but this is plain plate.
Yeah, it's unless you're looking for upgrades.
I mean, if it's an option, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I got some gold.
But anything else anybody wants to find in the city? In the
Bombs.
meantime?
I want more bombs.
Oh yeah, you used your bombs.
I used 2 of my 3. I still have 1 left, but I think bombs are cool. I was very happy with the results.
It did work well.
You should find some high explosive musket rounds.
That I do need more bullets. You're right. Although I don't have a musket, I have a sniper gun. I guess I don't know what
It's
that means.
musketish.
Oh, it is. I thought it was like those AR-15s.
Well, not exactly.
But a fantasy version.
It's like a fantasy version of something in between a musket and a rifle.
So it's like a sharps. It's like a
Yeah.
single shot break action.
Well, it's got
Really?
It's able to actually do 4 like it's a little bit revolvery, but it's,
Oh,
it's
I do
weird,
like
and
the
it has
break
it
action.
uses like 2-piece cartridges and
Yeah, I do want the break action so people will hear it. But it did kind of like the sniper idea I had of like an AR-15 where I could just indiscriminately mow people down.
Oh dear.
I mean you'd have to find.
And I'm the bad one. She talking about going on a killing spree.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
only of the bad guys.
dark. Anyway, yes.
How long till we leave?
I mean, you're given a timeline of a couple days. So you would have a couple days in the city. They already got immediately Smith's working on it, basically off of existing plate mail to try to get it into the right shape and look. Anything else? You would probably have to pay for bombs,
That's fine.
as you'd have to find the right the right person in the city that does that kind of thing.
Okay.
Too.
I think I heard food was free here.
Food is free
That thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
in the city.
Yeah, I'm more than
And
happy to pay for
healthcare?
some bombs.
thinking that
Oh, free doctor?
Yes.
I have this
Healthcare
weird
is
rash
free.
on my leg. I don't know.
All right.
oh, thinking that things are gonna get kind of rough, I'm gonna like basically just pamper myself for the next few days.
Okay. Which is entirely you
Fine dining, drinking, whatchamacallit, still gonna perform and stuff like that. But I'm gonna live it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's good food available. Interestingly, alcohol is not free. You do have to pay for it, but you're given some basic accommodations with the Tal'Dorei army in a fairly nice tent on a raised platform.
Is there a better place to stay? 'Cause
I mean, you can if you want. There's some nice places.
yeah,
There's some
I'm gonna
nice
pamper myself.
taverns around. I'll say for a couple days, it's going to cost you like 4 gold with a nice place to stay and nice dinners and treating yourself. Is there anything else anybody would like to do in town? Because you're going to find bombs.
Yeah, I want to find some more.
Make an investigation check. See what you
Alright.
can find in the
And I
way.
probably need to get more, I guess, musket ball things.
Yeah,
whatever
that
they-
might be easier to find.
Yeah, bullets, whatever they're.
Health potion.
I guess it's one thing
What
because
am I-
I
I don't know.
I'm sorry, what kind of check was this?
Investigation. What's that?
18.
18. Okay, good to know. What were you saying?
so I just thought about I needed a red cloak, but I just remembered I used the cloak of displacement.
Mm-hmm.
So is that dyeable?
I would say yes. You'd have to find a place that does magical items in particular.
Mhm.
But yes.
Because I don't want to get rid of my cloak of displacement.
Okay.
So I just need that so the
Can you wear a cloak on top of your cloak?
right.
Yeah.
Um,
I heard you like cloaks, so we got a cloak for your cloak.
Just make sure you read the tag on that cloak. You don't want to fuck it up trying to alter it.
Shrink it or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Displacer beast, hide. Whatever the instructions say for that.
I mean, finding a place that would dye it, because it isn't a regular dye job, it's a little bit more advanced. It's going to cost you a couple gold.
Yeah, so I actually need a lot of work done to it
Okay.
because it needs to be dyed and there needs to be a hand.
The world is ending right now.
Hey, you want me to get us into the Iron Authority? I have to have my armor back, or at least something close to it.
Because of the magical nature of it, I'll say, they're not going to necessarily cover that. You'd have to. So it would probably be 5 gold to get. Yeah, because it's a magical tailoring job. So yeah, okay.
I guess when we were talking about being disguised and stuff, I would have mentioned my seeming spell, which lasts for 8 hours, and I can make all of us look. I can disguise appearance and also gear, clothing, weapons. It wouldn't stand up to really close scrutiny, but if anybody touched you, they would. If I can make you taller, shorter, faster, skinnier, all this stuff.
No,
I can disguise all of your. I could make your displacer cloak look like anything I want for 8 hours at a time.
I mean, do you want
Risk it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
to that
Like,
and
we
blow
can
a spell slot for it too?
It's up to you.
It lasts for 8 hours. I mean, I
Dead
could
left.
blow a spell slot and then take a short rest and regain
Yeah.
that spell slot if I needed to, like real bad.
But I mean, like, I have a shit ton of gold, so
Okay.
it doesn't really. If I can just get it done in the time limit we have.
I guess if there was something like we couldn't get it done in
Yeah.
time, or there was something that you couldn't get done,
Yeah.
period.
So long as they can make black armor with shoulder spikes and change my cloak to red, then
So we don't have to look like a specific race or anything, right?
No, like there are races of all types in the Iron Authority. Most are hobgoblin, but there are. It's common enough for there to be slaves and free slaves of other races within the.
I don't want to
city.
walk in goblin face and get canceled or something.
Yeah.
You can watch that.
like you gotta like the Church of Bane isn't just hobgoblins. It's just this city in particular is predominantly hobgoblins.
Yeah, and the Iron Authority, like as a country, is mostly goblin types. There are other places where there are other great, like especially in. Yeah, I won't go into that, but
I'm wondering if. All right, I have infiltration expertise.
Okay.
It does take 7 days, and maybe I started this before we went down there, possibly. I'd like to study him so that I can pass myself off as him if I need to.
It's gonna be kind of hard because you kind of can't shrink.
What?
Now, I can unfailingly create, or if using this identity to disguise other creatures, would believe you're that person.
I mean, I'd say that like you could do that to just like pick up his mannerisms and everything, and
Yeah.
then if Chomp casts seeming on you, you could more. It would be harder to see through the seeming because
I can make you I think I can make you a foot shorter.
Yeah.
It always brings it down.
Mm-hmm. Maybe while you're not looking, I can.
Or I make
rise
you look
and
a
take your
foot
shoes
shorter.
and
I
your
guess if
boots
anybody
off.
like waved their
I think
hand
you'd
over
notice.
their head, they would.
Okay, you said you were looking for health potions.
Yeah.
What kind of healing potions do you want to look for?
Because
they'll-
flavor strawberry.
I'll say that they will give you like 2 just regular healing potions. Like the Taldori army will, because you're being sent in and they're
Right.
trying to equip you some free mission. They can spare a couple.
Okay, but I think we will need 2 for each person. Or
They'll give you 2
something.
for the group right now.
Oh gosh, okay.
And if
So
you,
we'll find some other ones.
if you want to find
maybe.
other ones,
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were looking for bombs. What did
Yeah.
you roll? You rolled a 19.
18 or 19.
18 or 19. That's a close enough. Looking around, you eventually find a. Oh gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? It begins with an
Probably starts with the Acme Bomb Company.
Artificer.
A. Yes, thank you. You found an artificer. Somebody who actually works with especially black powder.
Yeah.
And they say they can make a basic kind of like Acme, like, bomb grenade.
Yeah.
With a whip and everything. Or
Uh,
fuse, sorry.
Yeah. They don't have a pin I can pull.
No, they don't. This place is not quite that advanced. Not as advanced as some of the other places around. Like they work on basic firearms, like basic like.
Yeah. I'm just
muzzle
wondering,
loader,
do
like
I have a
musket
big lighter
types.
somewhere in my bag of holding? And so I don't have to stop and make a little flint thing?
I mean, somebody had a lighter. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to have a way I can light
lighter?
this bomb in the
Yeah,
middle
I
of
do.
conflict.
You
Oh,
can
awesome. I'll have to borrow it if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. I
Um,
make a little fire starter.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to say, everyone
Yeah.
stop, I need to start with my flint.
they're
So
they're
just
basic
together?
little
Uh-huh.
bombs are gonna run you 50 gold pieces a piece.
Okay, let me see how I'll do on gold here. Oh, hold it. I bet there's a bank in here who would honor my promissory note. Not our promissory note, the one I
The
got
one you got.
for the fight.
Maybe.
If you do, you should redeem the group's one as well.
You think so?
If they have that much.
Well, because the one that had been from the Blue Dragon fight, the
Yeah.
one that was for the group, was specifically a Taldori army, and you are currently in a camp of the Taldori army.
I don't remember how much that one was.
You did you redeemed part of it, but they only had so much in the coffers available at the
I have
moment.
no earthly idea how much is in that one, on that one.
Well, what do you want to get?
I don't remember. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, we basically butchered a dragon and sold its parts.
Yes.
Also, we need to track down a red dragon later.
Yeah.
at
Before
some
we
point.
save the world. After, Maybe.
It was angry. Maybe it'll track you down.
All right.
That would be great.
I won. Now I do have 520 platinum in the bag. And I don't remember where it came from. I hate to say that.
I don't know. In any case, yeah. How many of these bombs you want to do? Like
Well-
he can only. He says that with his stuff on hand, he can make 5 of them if you want to pay
Alright.
250 gold.
How many?
That's 2.5 platinum.
Yeah, I think I have that much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
2.5, 25 platinum.
Yeah. I will
Thought it
take
was
10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 250 gold. You take the 0 off the end. It's 25.
okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got plenty
Yeah,
of
you-
platinum.
I know.
Yeah, I have 13,000 platinum.
For
That
some
might
reason,
have might have
for
been
some
our-
reason, I thought it was 100
100,
gold per
yeah.
platinum, but it's 10 gold
10.
per platinum.
Some people run it that way, and it. But I've been. Yeah, the
It's just my mind
DM
instantly
guys, yeah.
like
goes
online
down.
games. It uses the 100, 100, 100
Yeah.
currency,
Yeah.
so that's just where my mind instantly goes. Is like 100 equals 1.
All right, let's say the 520 platinum is left over from my fight, and then we'll put the house. I mean, I don't know, but then we have another 13,000 platinum minus
I mean,
800 gold, and that could be from the dragon. Although this seems a little much.
I have no. I think the 13,000 is that's the promissory note from the Tal'Dorei army.
Yeah, I think so. Let me just make a little.
And I think the minus was what we got from them on hand. That was all
Yeah,
they could spare.
That was
Yeah.
all on hand.
So somebody else could. Yeah, so we have 13,000 minus 800 gold platinum.
Okay,
A lot of
I
gold.
think you got enough.
Yeah, well, now I'm gonna pay for the bombs out of my own.
So we're gonna
Okay.
buy the city.
It's a big city.
Yeah, but I will pay for the. How many platinum was it again? 25. All right, out of the 520 platinum, which I think is from
Yep.
that fight, the
Yep.
gladiator fight.
Take off 25
So 495.
Thank you.
and put down 5 grenades.
Okay, 1 bomb, 5 grenades. Same thing.
Is the possibility of making the armor magical an option?
I mean, it's gonna take longer, so you'll have.
Well,
to,
by option, I mean by getting it done in time. Like, I don't know.
in the 2 days, it wouldn't be. You'd have to wait at least a week.
Okay.
So you'd have to. Yeah.
I need to buy arrows, stuff like that, I guess. Because I don't really keep up with my arrows all the time.
As long as you every once in a while spend a couple gold on arrows.
Okay, I'll buy some arrows too.
Yeah. That's all I care about. Or you were talking about musket shots too.
Oh yeah, I need
Like you
those
can find
too.
it. It's the same. It's basically the same. So whatever one you're looking to buy.
All right,
I'm just
I'll-
trying to find a third magical item to attune to because I only have 2 right now. So I'm like,
Okay.
I'll figure that out.
I mean, maybe next time
Yeah.
we can continue this and you can find something in the city.
I was about to say maybe I can find something in the Iron Authority. Who knows?
That's true. In the meantime,
I guess Chomsky wants to. I guess.
Wherever, I'll go with him with looking for spells and.
Did you
And
need
potions.
anything? Or you got the potions? Yeah.
Well, I think we were gonna go try to find that.
If there was a
Later,
place,
next time.
I want to copy some spells into my book, my spell book.
Oh, you have
If-
to go to the library.
So I don't know if there's a library or if I had to buy a spell scroll that I could copy.
I mean, you could probably find a library. You'd have to talk to somebody to get access here, but you might be able to do that.
That's what Chomsky wants to do because we got a couple of days, right?
You got a couple of days. Anything in particular you're looking for, or just maybe think about it. We'll
Just let them
come
know
back to
it's
it next time.
Yeah, I guess if I got a couple of days,
Mhm.
that would give me enough time to learn, like a 4th or 5th level spell. I got to study it for 2 hours per spell level. So if I spent 4 hours one day and 4 hours the next day, I'd have a 4th level spell or something.
We'll look into it, and we'll go from there. Alright, so, in the last little bit, we had a big encounter, and then another big encounter with the guy, and then we had finding the city, and we had a lot of good RP. So we're gonna be at level 13!
Really? Awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I mean, that could explain
So
why
now
you
I'm-
get new spells.
Yeah. That would be an in-game reason for why I just like, hey, you guys, guess what? I know 2 new spells now. Zap, zap.
So yeah, everybody level up before the next.
Alright, if I look around and send you some stuff that I might be interested in leveling up with, could you mind? Since
Yeah, I know it's been
beyond,
really weird.
Weird's not like me.
I can level.
Hey, I learned 2 new spells too.
Oh, did you get some
Woo!
spells?
I got Blight and Confusion.
Ah.
Those sound good.
That checks out.
Yeah. Rude.
Thank you all for the. That was I always love it, even when it feels tense. It's good.
Like I'm sincerely
Interpersonal
worried.
conflict.
Yeah.
I'm worried about my future in this group.
Sugar.
Okay, so Margaret, going up to the level 13, you
Yeah.
don't necessarily you get a new ability called Imposter. You
Cool.
gain the ability to unerringly mimic another person's speech, writing, and behavior.
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy that.
You must spend at least 3 hours studying these 3 components of the person's behavior.
That works.
Your
with what you
ruse is indiscernible to the casual observer, and a wary creature suspects something amiss. You have advantage on deception checks.
Cool.
So yeah.
I am gonna drive.
I can imagine that would also be just fun gags, like
That's what I was just thinking.
around the group, like you mimicking one of us in the group and like
Uh-huh.
standing right next to him or behind him, and you're just exactly mirroring like everything they do, just because you kind
Yep.
of
Yeah,
know
You
all
can
the
totally do that.
mannerisms.
that'll be fun.
You also gain 6 hit points.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna give you a long rest here.
Yeah, you know, I do have the mask of many faces.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah,
my
that too.
clothes, all that happens is my
Wow.
face changes, but my voice stays the same and my clothes
But
change.
now,
Yeah, I'll have
now
to look
you
up.
can mimic their voice.
I'll have
Yeah.
to look up Blight and Confusion because it just puts them on there, but it doesn't tell me what they do or anything else.
Yeah, well, I should be able to look here
My
too.
phone.
Yeah, I can manually look them up and enter them on there. It's just I was hoping that it would just give me the description on there, but it doesn't.
Let me check on here.
It's not in my spell list. It's just in my like feats list where it says level 13 Oathbreaker spells, and you click on it, and it's like
It
Blight and
should
Confusion,
end
but
up
then
on
nothing
there.
else after
It
that.
really should end up in there. Let me make sure real quick, because I have access. Let's see here. So,
Also, sincerely sorry about Gundar.
It's
No,
been
I
really
get
cool.
it. You gotta have unique characters, otherwise it's just,
Like I'm not.
there's no conflict and
Yeah.
I will say that I'm not intentionally trying to like
yeah.
break the group apart or do anything counterproductive to the group. But I'm also trying to stay true to who my
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
is and who I built because
Yeah, and I would say, like, yeah, and you're doing an okay job of it.
the last thing I want to do is mess with anybody else's fun. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
screw the group over and put us in a predicament like,
Exactly.
you know, I've got to kill my character off just because he's messed up so much.
Just make sure, yeah, that you, as you're going through,
And sincerely, that was part of my plan
Yeah.
with
What?
attacking
Yeah.
the place.
I figured.
Was that it wasn't just because I don't like them. It's like we don't know this city. We've never been here, and we really don't need this. You know,
Yeah.
like
See, Sean?
Hi, John.
Yeah, and yeah, just keep an eye on that line, and
Yeah.
I think we'll be
And
okay.
I have a horrible time
And-
remembering that Roland's supposed to be
Yeah.
into me because I'm like, oh no, you know.
and sincerely, if I like,
You'll know. You'll
Yeah.
feel a foot under the table go,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
Oops.
yeah,
Well, I remember that.
and honestly, don't be afraid to do that because
Gordon gets it all the time.
I don't want to mess with anybody.